And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this. And you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked.
And we are live at the Horseshoe Cafe, South Fork, Connecticut. Week 18, Tony.
18,
it's
dude.
Barnes, it's Tony, it's Michael, it's Renee, and another Michael, as in Michael Butka, live in the audience. It's the Baker Run. How you doing, Tony?
Dude, I'm doing absolutely great, man. Happy to be here. Horseshoe, huge. Like you said, Week 18's been going great, honestly, and especially for, a week, I guess, that maybe we, previewed wasn't going to be that great. There were some exciting games, and, the Bengals were great. Obviously, the Chargers are watching here. It's just, there's just been some great football. Even with those, with the Chiefs not starting their starters, basically, to watch Bo Nix cook is impressive, So it's actually been a pretty surprisingly, overwhelmingly exciting Week 18. Yes, dude.
Yes.
So I am pumped to be here. Talk about that. Little Rangers, maybe. Who knows? The golf with the Century. So honestly, a great Sunday for sports, dude.
Yeah, a couple trivia questions.
Great weather today, too, dude.
The weather was horrible, and I know nobody knows that better than Michael. And I believe
Absolutely trash.
There's a couple comments as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, let's see what the fans think about the weather. Okay, how about that?
Matt saying, let's go. Barnes saying, come on now. It's really crazy. He's here.
What do you know?
Michael Buckner,
Doppelganger?
I'm in the house. I need to get my hotel booked for Disneyland and the Park Hopper too. And my character breakfast with Snow White booked as well. Josh B, yo fam, what up?
The one, the only, Josh B. So, a lot going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of the games, in progress, I believe currently we have, 5? Yeah, 5 in progress. Or the Chiefs game actually just went final. So Broncos take that one 38-0. So not the season finale start that Carson Wentz, Tony, was hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
But other games in progress. The Chargers looking to put the finishing touches on their 11th win of this season here, up 14 late in the fourth quarter against the Raiders, facing a 3rd and goal. You also have the Seahawks about to win possibly their 10th game of the season, up 5 with 3:19 left. Unfortunately for them, already out of the playoffs, so they can finish with the same record as the Rams, who will be the 3rd seed in the NFC despite losing this game. So a tough break there for Seattle on the tiebreaker. The Jets up 2 touchdowns at the Meadowlands against the Dolphins. The Aaron Rodgers revenge game against the franchise, possibly. And then we also have the Cardinals leading right now with the ball, 33-24. And it looks like, did Dobbins get in? And it looks like, or is that Jackson?
He did. Haskins.
Okay, Haskins.
Hassan
Haskins, the former Michigan running back, finding the end zone here. So that will certainly put this game away for the Chargers as they're about to go up 3 scores. Obviously, we're all looking forward to the 8:20 kickoff game between the Vikings and the Lions. So we'll certainly talk about that. And our trivia questions are actually related to that as well. So we'll definitely get to that in a little bit. But, looking at around the results of the day, and we had 2 overtime games as well. So, a lot of close finishes. One thing that came as a result of the couple games on Saturday, as well as some of the results today, the Tennessee Titans getting that number 1 pick. So, that gives them an opportunity to finally address that quarterback need that they've had
Who are they taking?
for quite some time. It's interesting because obviously, Shador kind of has been seen as the number one pick, but
Right.
Cam Ward right there as well. So I think that is not set in stone. So I think it'll come between the two quarterbacks and whatever one the organization. And if they keep, Callahan, the coach there, what quarterback they believe in. But I think, obviously there's a lot of bad teams this year in the NFL, but the Titans, one of those teams that needed that quarterback the most. So
If you are that quarterback, you're kind of tight.
I guess it depends what they do in the offseason. Obviously you have Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard's not bad. So, also seems like Nashville seems like kind of one of those places, up and coming, people wanting to live there.
Right.
So I don't know if they're that tight, Tony,
Yeah, no, true. Nashville is a pretty cool city to be in, I suppose. But it's just like you said, like, are they keeping that, like the head coach? Like, it's just, regardless if you're, a top overall draft pick, especially if you're the first, you're pretty excited just in general, I suppose. But I feel like whoever gets drafted at that role, they're going to be like.
But could you argue they'll be more riled to be in Tennessee than they will be to be in Cleveland, who gets the second overall draft selection?
Yeah, I guess so.
They just fired their offensive coordinator
Cleveland
today
sucks.
as well. Yeah,
Cleveland does
I would
suck.
not want to live in Cleveland.
Have you ever said you want to go vacation in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been there too.
Maybe
It was
if you're a Rock
horrible, dude.
Did you go to the Hall of Fame?
I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it was underwhelming.
Wow, I'm surprised. It seems like something you would be like going nuts.
I know, and honestly, I kind of thought I would be as well, but not for nothing, dude. It's like everything you see in that museum. It's like I can see at the Hard Rock Cafe. I can see at Planet Hollywood. This isn't crazy to see. Prince's shirt that he used for a concert. The experience wasn't great. I would say the one cool thing that was there was Johnny Cash's tour bus. That was there you can go into, but other than that, dude. And then again, on top of it, you're in Cleveland.
Yeah, the
So
weather.
Like around
good.
us.
I actually think, Michael, right? Tony would be a good Cleveland candidate for the winter weather.
He would. He would be very good there. He would love to be there and play there.
No, yeah, the weather was great. It's like today's weather. It was an interesting time, I suppose. I was on my parents on a road trip. We got there at like midnight, and like literally got out of the car, and there's like hookers outside the hotel room.
Jesus.
And we're like, oh my
When was
God,
this?
dude? This was 2018, maybe 2016.
Wow.
It was a wedding in Nebraska for my cousin. So we decided instead of flying, Brian, we did the road trip to Nebraska. And we stopped in Cleveland on the way, Chicago on the way back, I believe, or vice versa.
How was the road trip, like the car aspect?
I actually really enjoy road trips.
Five people in the car? Or no?
No, so it was three. It was me and my parents.
Oh, just you and your parents.
It was my parents and
your
I.
Cousins there, you said?
Well, we went to her wedding.
Oh, got you. So this was after that or before?
All right, let's lay this down here for the folks at home. Okay, there's a wedding in Nebraska. My cousin's getting married.
Wait,
she's in
go
Nebraska.
Corn?
Go Corn, yes. The Huskers, dude.
Uncle Richie. Was he
Uncle
there?
Richie, yes. Uncle Richie is my Uncle Richie's daughter. Okay, getting married.
Yep.
All right, this is Taylor, my cousin Taylor. It was a tremendous wedding. It was great. But it was in Nebraska, so my parents, the road trip. Let's stop. Like I said, I think it was Cleveland on the way and then Chicago on the way back. I think if I recall correctly. But I think it was like 14 hours to Cleveland, and then after that it was an 11 to Nebraska, and it was the same split to go to Chicago and back. That was the point. The midway was that city.
We drove to Chicago one time.
Yeah.
Wow. That was when we went to Notre Dame.
That's sick.
But it was cool to see that campus.
Chicago was amazing.
Yeah.
Again, Cleveland not so much.
Not anymore.
But the Chicago has always had terrible parts of it, dude. But
yeah, I think honestly, Michael, you go to a Cubs game, okay, and then that's it.
I've been there.
I think you're fine, but it's just like there's certain parts you want to get out of that.
Bulls game?
No, I was. I did a basketball camp.
Yeah.
Was Jordan there?
I went to his house.
Were you in his house?
Wait, so what's the context there?
I got invited to a St. Joseph's High basketball camp. One of my favorite experiences. If you've ever seen the movie Hoop Dreams, I got to meet the coach, legendary coach that coach there. His name's slipping my mind right now.
That was in Hoop Streams. You're saying?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sat in his office, wanted me to go there, type of thing. My mom luckily had friends that lived in Chicago, so we stayed there. And then my mom surprised me by taking me to Michael Jordan's crib. And yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah,
Bless
you.
Cool.
Was that Michael?
But you didn't hear.
No, but I honestly want to go back there. I think that's one of those like with Buffalo. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to tie those in now. They're so far apart, right? Chicago, Buffalo.
Yeah,
they're so far apart. I'm saying.
I would think they're pretty far apart. Yeah, very far apart.
Buffalo's right on the
No,
border.
I'm just thinking of like being up north. You know what I mean? But
yeah. Well,
still-
but
it's still
Chicago
probably
is
far.
like
I know it's
west.
heading west.
yeah.
But no, I do want to go back there. Honestly,
Yeah, same, dude. We should go back there.
And I would like to go to a Blackhawks game, especially now
Yeah.
with Bedard there. I know the team obviously isn't good, but
Yeah.
to see Bedard and just to check out the arena, wouldn't that be sick?
It'd be sick. I mean,
Yeah.
again, Blackhawks, original 6 team, franchise, the story, the history. Get yourself a nice Chicago dog while you're there too. It's what I did when I was there. It was delicious.
I would prefer the pizza over the dog. Wait, what's the deal with the Chicago dog again? Like, what's
It's ketchup, mustard, onions, relish. They put a slice of tomato on it, a pickle. It's
seems like Michael does not want to
it's
have it.
on
You didn't
a
have one there, right?
poppy
No,
seed
no.
hot dog roll, by the way. I think it's
Poppy
delicious,
seed.
dude. Yeah, poppy seed on
Okay.
the hot dog roll. And they give you a little peppercini pepper as well.
Wow.
It is a fucking experience, dude. And then you have the Chicago beef sandwiches as well. We tried when we were there. The pizza, in my opinion, I don't know, dude. It's just okay.
Chicago or Connecticut pizza.
I would say the typical.
He can't.
Yeah,
do
he's
it.
gonna say Chicago.
He can't
obviously.
do it.
Just-
No, I'm not
He
going to say
can't do it.
Chicago.
Let's cut. Oh, really? I
No,
thought
I mean-
I was gonna say cut out the fluff, but if it's Chicago, go
No,
ahead.
it's not Chicago because they don't have like their pizza isn't. It's not like pizza. It's not. It's just not to me like pizza. It's like a casserole. It's a big tomato. It's like a bread bowl you're eating almost, dude. Just cheese and hot sauce on top of the cheese. By the way, it's on top of the cheese.
This actually
like no one
ties
fucking
in
talks about that. By the way,
to a story from today, by the way. And I forget the name of it. I guess it's called the Sono stove. So it's kind of like an Uzi. I don't know if you've heard of this, but Pooch got one for Christmas.
Mhm.
So today at the house, we made pizzas. Of course, I go trial run the first time. And I made it like a calzone because I wasn't good at thinning out the dough. And all
oh
that.
my god, I
Didn't
can
realize
imagine.
that I used a lot of fresh mozzarella and ended up probably having half of dough that was just not cooked enough. But luckily, everyone else made pizza, so I had some of that. Outstanding. So cool idea. Just gotta know what you're doing.
The execution.
Hence why I hate cooking, but it was good. Matthew even had a couple slices as well.
Oh no,
Wow.
kidding, Matthew! Wow,
I can't believe that.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I've
I can't hear you.
I've never had a pizza oven in my house, dude. I will say my neighbor across the street growing up, pizza
Oh, no,
oven
we're
in
just saying
his
it'd be cool to go
basement.
there, the sports stadiums.
Go to the pizza, whatever,
Yeah.
dude. Michael Buckner wants to know about Chicago. When's the flight going? Is Snow White coming with him? We'll find
but
out.
I think
dude.
honestly that's a good segue, Tony, to kind of get back to it,
Yes,
as
dude.
you would say. And Michael, let's bring you in here. I believe a few comments.
Yes. Mary Materiello
That's my mom.
saying hi, Aunt. Tommy
Mom.
Donovan.
Hi,
Hey,
Mary.
hey. Yes, Rangers goal song.
Good
Matthew
to get the
saying-
win
Good
after
to
getting
win, yep.
embarrassed yesterday. Have batting practice.
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
Matthew saying Michael Buckta. Ernesto saying need a Gibbs and Williams TD for 1K.
Ernie,
let's
there we go.
Ernie. Let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
Ernie here.
Matt saying Nebraska. Go Cern.
Go Kern.
The Kern, dude.
Come on, Kern.
Mary saying it was Casey's wedding. Chicago's fabulous.
Yes, my cousin
Marco,
Casey. Sorry.
Hey, buddies. Your mom also saying that you did the Ferris Bueller Trail.
Yeah, we did. Chicago Institute of Art.
You clearly didn't like it.
Why?
You didn't mention it.
Well, because we were talking about Cleveland at the time, so I was focusing on
So
Cleveland.
did you like it?
I did love it. Yes. Again, Chicago, the bean. I touched the bean, and then went to Chicago Institute of Art, and that was, I think, I think that was like a spur of the moment thing. Like we didn't plan that, so we did it, and it was great. Yeah, dude. I reenacted myself the scene in Ferris Bueller when Cameron is in front of that painting by I forget who. I don't think it was a Vermeer. I don't know, it doesn't matter. There's a little girl in the park, very pixelated, threaded, whatever, dude. Everyone knows the scene, all right?
Ours doesn't.
But I did that.
Yeah,
dude, in
I
Chicago.
honestly, you could be talking
Have you ever seen Ferris Bueller's
gibberish
Day
to
Off?
me. No, I have not.
Well, they go to a Cubs game.
On his day off.
Yeah, he skipped school. That was the whole point. It was his,
Oh, Farris.
yes, Ferris skipping school, Bueller, whatever, dude. We didn't get a chance to go to Wrigley Field, but again, that's why we'll go back. Why
Yeah.
not?
And
Let's
then
go.
Michael ending the comments.
Michael Meyer scoring the touchdown as well here.
Wow,
wants
dude.
to know how
The Raiders with
Disney
the
to
garbage time
Ernie.
TD.
And then Ernesto saying expensive but worth it for the kids and wife.
That's what it's all about.
For what?
The
Disney.
Disney
Oh,
trip.
for Disney.
When you went a little
It is
while
worth
ago.
it.
But getting back to
To
it,
it.
Tony, we were talking draft position. So last week, Giants were in the driver's seat for that number 1 pick.
Oh.
They did lose today to
They
the
go to the
Eagles, so they go to the
third
third
pick.
pick. New England was in the driver's seat today, but they beat the Bills today at home. So they are the 4th selection. And we were talking pre-show. Right after the game, they fire head coach Gerard Mayo. So he's
crazy.
1 and done there. I think it was the 3rd consecutive season
sucks.
having a 1 and done coach. And the whole reason for that, and we were talking about again, the Jets kind of embarrassing themselves. Vrabel using them as leverage with that interview this past week.
Yeah.
So it looks like, and we'll see, but everybody, on Twitter was basically making it a mere formality that New England will bring in Vrabel to be the next head football coach.
Which I think it's the right decision, to be honest. I didn't really see that coming, though. I guess of all the places that we've talked about, that especially all the teams that need coaches. I didn't expect the Patriots to fire Mayo, to be honest, after the first year. Clearly, but then again, I guess they're just impatient at this point. Not for nothing. They haven't been competitive in quite a few years.
I think it's going on 7 seasons?
7 seasons now,
which for them is like.
That's what I mean. It doesn't sound crazy to most, but for them that is kind of wild. So maybe they're pulling the trigger early. Do you think, or you think Mayo doesn't get a head coaching job?
I do not think he gets a head coaching job.
Wow.
He's never had a coordinator job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he'll latch on somewhere. Maybe goes back to the college ranks, goes back to Tennessee where he went to school. Who knows? By the way, a correction here. The dream season for Brock Bowers continues. He caught that touchdown.
That was Bowers.
Not the other tight end, Mayer. So what a season he's had in a lost season for the Raiders, who you would expect after this game, where they're down 14 attempting an onside kick, that they would fire Antonio Pierce as well.
Do they recover it quick?
Absolutely not. The percentage of
very
recovery
low.
kick the last couple of years, has to be under 5.
And here we go. Nice little squib there. And the Chargers easily
They do
grab the
receive
ball.
it. And also with this win, I believe they are locked into the 6th seed, if I'm not mistaken. So that means that they will actually
5 seeds, says Michael
it is a
Buck.
5 seed. So they will take on the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium this coming weekend. So good matchup for them, because the Chargers definitely have some stuff to clean up despite being an 11-win team.
Yeah, but not for nothing. Texans have some things to clean up as well. So
that's what I'm saying. It's a good matchup.
It's a good matchup.
They get
both,
a break.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's honestly a pick 'em, I would think, right?
Rather
with those
than,
two teams.
Yeah, I'll give me the Chargers all day, honestly.
Wow.
All the injuries for the Texans, and obviously Harbaugh as well. But DeMeco Ryans is a very good coach.
He's very good.
But then for the 6th seed, to have to face the Ravens now, that's definitely a way tougher matchup here. So things shaping up in terms of all the playoff seeds. I'm sure they're pretty much all set now, other than the 1 and 5 seed in the NFC. But you're going to see the Steelers, who lost yesterday, having to go to Baltimore, and the way that things are trending for them. And I know they just lost yesterday, but it seems like that's going to be a beatdown. The way that the Ravens played yesterday, fourth straight,
loss, 4th straight loss. We talked about it on Friday too. They were, picking that game against the Steelers. It was like, all right, Bengals were getting hot. They were on the 4-game win streak going in, I believe, right? Because they've won 5 in a row now.
Unfortunately, will not qualify for the postseason with the Broncos.
Right. Unfortunately, did not. But still, just in terms of this matchup, it was like one of those feelings where you're thinking that the Bengals are just that team that's trending in the right direction. Steelers not. So I guess that's kind of why I anticipated this loss. But yeah, it's going to be tough for the Steelers to I feel like get a playoff victory, I suppose. I know it's kind of crazy to say because they've been doing so well and they have obviously a tremendous roster. And again, to go back to the coaching too. But it just seems that Wilson can't really produce,
Well, how about, under 150 passing yards yesterday, and then not throwing the ball away late in that game. So the clock had to wind, then they had to take a timeout. And then he does make a good throw to tight end Pat Freiermuth, but it just goes right through his hands.
I guess a couple of unfortunate mistakes, not to blame Wilson for everything, but I don't know. It's tough, dude, because I just feel like I don't know. I still think I think they would have been better off just having Justin Fields to be their starter.
The way that things finished, not the way they started. When they started, it was like all exciting. He's throwing the ball down the field.
Right.
But we've seen Wilson revert back to a lot of the check down Charlie tendencies that he had in Denver.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Which is why I think you saw Freiermuth get a lot of catches and receptions and looks and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's like, you think Wilson, did kind of revive, I suppose, his career at least in the first half or the first 3/4 of the season. But for nothing, dude, Justin Fields is doing great too. When the couple with
With
3 games,
5-2, I think they were something like that.
What did he
Or
say?
4-1?
Did he have
5-1?
5
Something
starts?
around
Yeah.
that.
Exactly. So he was, producing, and again, a quarterback of his age too, I think, still has a bright future in the league. So, I mean, I get what they were trying to do with having, Wilson Fields tandem. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's interesting, I guess, decision there to have Wilson be your starter because, again, I guess, it's like one of those Monday morning quarterback situations. But at the end of the season here, like Russ going to the playoffs, you don't feel that confident.
No,
dude.
I think even though usually the games are close, last time it wasn't against Baltimore. I think they lost by a few scores.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an absolute beatdown. We'll talk about the Ravens game against Cleveland in a second. But it just seems like we're trending that way. The Ravens seem like they're peaking as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. And obviously, a great finish to the season after a terrible start for Cincinnati, but they will not be in the postseason this year. And quite a shame. I mean, how historic this team was just in terms of production, having the league leader in passing yards, touchdowns, league leader in receptions, yardage, and touchdown, and then the sack leader in the NFL to not be in the postseason.
Oh, who's that dude? Not Hutchinson.
Trey
Hendrickson.
But the numbers for Cincinnati are unbelievable. But I think this finish probably saves Zach Taylor's job. They probably fire the defensive coordinator, Lou Amarillo, bring in some different defensive personnel. And then the biggest thing is just going to be bringing back T. Higgins. I know they didn't want to give him the contract, and Jamar Chase getting his contract done. But I have a feeling they'll figure it out because they know this offense can be historic.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it is being historic. Like you said, you laid down. I mean, you have 3 of the top stat leaders in the league, and you're not making the playoffs. I mean, something here it was drastically wrong. But to your point, though, I mean, you do have to bring back a lot of the usual suspects, like you said. I mean, obviously, Jamar Chase speaks for himself, but Higgins is going to be huge. Mike Gesicki as well. Utilizing him. I'm not sure what his story is in terms of contract.
Yeah, I would think it was a 1-year deal.
I would think so too.
Well, and you wouldn't think it would cost a ton. And obviously, Burrow had some good rapport with them, so it would make sense to bring him back. Chase Brown was held just under 1,000 yards rushing, so he seems like he could be your lead back next year. 997 touchdowns. And then, I mean, Jamar Chase's production this year. Talk about betting on yourself. The contract year, 1708 in terms of yardage, 17 touchdowns. And then even Isovas had 6 touchdowns for 479, being their third wide receiver. And then how can we forget Joe Burrow here, going just under the 5,000 yard marker at 4,918, averaging 289 yards passing per game, 7.5 yards per attempt, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks. I know it's not going to happen, but I don't know. To me, he played like the best quarterback in the NFL, and usually the MVP is the best quarterback. So I think he deserves it. I know he's not going to get it, and I know Allen and Jackson had great seasons, but I think he deserves it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so tough. I mean, to see a team like that, a player like that, and like you said, he's probably not going to get it just because of the team, because obviously value is measured in success, and the Bengals aren't making the playoffs, so they haven't had a successful season. Give me the Mets, dude.
We're talking about success here, Michael. Not ill-timed bite, I feel like.
Well, see, Michael's doing this thing where
that's the point.
Yeah,
it's called
like making fun of it.
It's called foresight. Actually, Michael knows.
No, he's not saying that. He just said no. He just said no.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. All right, dude. But nonetheless, here, again, to kind of echo your point, I mean, it's just like you have to sit down and just bring these guys back and not bolster your offensive line. Obviously, again, like you said, some defensive, maybe restructurings, and then
new coordinator.
And then I would be interested to see if they could pick up like a different running back. To be honest, I know you like their guy, but if they had
draft somebody, because have a 2-man rotation for running back works really well.
Great, yeah. Or even if you can, I mean, look what Baltimore and Philadelphia did. Like try and find someone who's maybe on the other end of their career, kind of questionable, whatever. I don't know who that would be. But I don't know. Maybe the Titans don't keep Tony Pollard. Who knows?
But, come on. Yeah.
I don't know what their deal is with his.
He was a couple-year contract. Being that he produced and they're going to have a new quarterback, they probably keep him. But you never know. Even someone like
Aaron Jones.
No, A.J. Dillon, who missed this whole season for the Packers. maybe they say, oh, Jacobs is, we'll draft somebody, we'll trade Dylan for a 4th or 5th round pick. Those deals, I feel like, are bargains when you have those opportunities.
That's true. Who knows? Maybe the Jets are going to get rid of Hall.
I mean, listen, if you could get something decent for him, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea. I feel like he's underwhelmed, Michael. I thought he was going to be kind of an all-time Jet. He has not been that at all.
No, not at all.
Mr. Poo-Poo. I think anybody's on the chopping block. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
The other game on Saturday, Ravens 35-10 over the Browns. So complete beat down, and we mentioned how the Browns fired Ken Dorsey. The former record-setting quarterback for the University of Miami, Tony, way back in the day. So he goes one and done there. Looks like Stefanski will stay. But the Ravens completing a very strong finish to the season after a choppy start.
There we go!
12-5, win the division, 3 seed in the AFC. Lamar, in this one, had 2 touchdowns through the air, 217 yards. Also ran for 63 yards. And then Derrick Henry, continuing the dream season, 20 for 138, 2 touchdowns, had 17 rushing touchdowns this year. Just under 2,000 yards, 19 and change. And then you also had Mark Andrews catch 11 touchdowns, had a touchdown in this game as well. They do have a big loss, though. Zay Flowers, I think they're still doing tests, but he's probably going to miss the postseason. So they're going to need Andrews, likely Bateman to fill that void, stepping up. And who knows, maybe they use somebody like Patrick Ricard or Tylen Wallace. There are other options at receivers. So we'll see. But I have to say, I'm not saying I feel like 100% confident or anything, but to me, I think the Ravens this year have the best chance since they've had Lamar to finally get over that hump and get back to a Super Bowl.
Yes, they do, dude. I would say, obviously very tough to the loss of Zay Flowers, but
Henry, unbelievable. And Jackson.
Just score 4 TD passes for Aaron Rodgers.
So that will give him 28 on the year. The numbers will look good, even though the play was terrible. I think over 4,000 passing yards as well. You don't think he's going to retire?
No
way.
The legend.
No way.
But he wants to make it seem like there's doubt for the attention.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he loves the attention.
Tony in costume.
Wow.
That's an old one, huh?
Dude. But in terms of Zay Flowers, you want to look at over the course of the year, over 1,000 yards, 74 receptions, and 4 touchdowns. Maybe not a lot of touchdowns, but nonetheless, someone who was a target, no doubt. But regardless, you said you have Henry, and not for nothing. I feel like with all of the, I guess you can say successes or lack thereof of the Ravens of the past few years, it starts and stops with Lamar Jackson. And like you said, dude, he's been absolutely killing it all year long. Showing no signs.
Those 3-pointers,
touchdowns, interceptions, 41-4,
which is ridiculous,
with a 77 QBR and over 4,000 yards passing.
The
We've
legend.
talked about it so many times. The second half taper, the fourth quarter blows, dude. It's not like it was always that sentiment to him where he's going to kind of end up blowing it. And even with that, it was you just had that mentality going into the postseason when the Ravens were there. But this year feels different because they have all the momentum in the world, and it just seems like between their culture and their roster, they're not really looking back at all. So
no, I think it's going to be a very tough out. And Lamar, 900 yards rushing as well, 4 rushing touchdowns. So I do think if you're an opposing team in the playoffs, and you're going to have to play perfect football, and that's why I feel like a very low probability of the Steelers winning that game. I think it's going to be a multiple touchdown win for Baltimore.
I hate
especially
to say it.
Baltimore.
Oh my
saw their
goodness.
mistake, the game plan, the AFC Championship game last year, not running. There's no way that's going to happen this year. Derrick Henry, I'm sure each playoff game that they play is going to have 25 to 30 carries.
Tony's
you're probably right. Which is so funny because, again, we look at the Ravens last year and where they faltered when they lost the playoffs against was it? It was. Okay, yeah, I thought so. I wasn't sure if that was last year or 2 years ago, but regardless, they didn't run the ball. So it should be interesting to see, how they use Henry. But not for nothing, dude. When you have Derrick Henry, it's how do you not run the ball? Really? I'm trying to look at some playoff stats from Lamar. I can't. It's Pro Football.
It was just crazy. Tell you they're not going to be pretty.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to dive into here. But regardless, like you said, I think it'd be tough out against the Steelers. You said it, multi-touchdown, dudes. But we'll see what happens. I guess you never know. I hate to count out a team like the Steelers, but
I would count him out, honestly.
Gosh,
you don't
dude.
usually lose 4 straight to end the regular season. The way that they have, struggling on the offense, settling for field goals, and then beat a team that's hot like the Ravens on the road in the playoffs after you blew the division. I mean, they had a pretty good stranglehold on the division.
When did Lamar win MVP? 2019, 2018?
It was 2019.
2019, dude. 2019, he had one playoff appearance.
Yeah, they lost to the Titans.
Through 2 picks.
To Derrick Henry.
To Derrick Henry.
Kind of
That's
nuts.
actually kind of crazy. He did throw for 365 through the air, but 2 picks, only 1 passing touchdown. He was sacked 4 times during that time. That was his MVP year. I mean, that's obviously a great year at game, but it's tough, dude. I mean, you're looking at Lamar again in the question of being the MVP of the league here, but you look back to that 2019 year and he was one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting to see again. I mean, there could be flags raised and questions thrown around, I suppose. In terms of, will Lamar really show up and be the Lamar he was all year long come the postseason? So, I mean, I guess you could argue either way, Brian, but I am kind of on the train where it does seem like it's Lamar and the Ravens year.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, Kansas City is going to be tough. Don't get me wrong, but I just think if the Ravens play their game, it's going to come down to the last second. So it might come down to who makes a mistake, who has the ball last, but that matchup will be fascinating if we end up getting it again. So we'll have to see. But by the way, Lamar also overall 2-4 in the playoffs, so looking to flip the script this year, and he'll get an opportunity to do that this coming weekend. So we'll have to see what happens. And there were a couple more comments that we had while we were talking about this. No, I'm going to bring it. I can do that. I knew the transition was happening. Michael knows it. But Michael Buckhead said Tomlin is never winning a playoff game again. His decisions are way too costly. I mean, not a terrible call. I think they'll have to improve the team if they want to get over that hump. That's for sure. Ernie also says, Brian, the parlay is 7-leg. Had Bijan, McMillan, McLaurin, Dobb, and Neighbors. Dobbs voided. So now those two, I also robbed the ticket. So if they score or sweep a K, let's fucking go. Week 18, baby. Trust the parlay. So obviously, like we said before, we're all rooting for Ernie, and he deserves it after having that tough loss to the Bears today, which we'll talk about in a second. Definitely didn't see that one coming. What's that, Michael?
Yeah, dude, the loss of the Bears, obviously pretty tough.
What's that?
If you're a Packers fan, I'm sure Brian will want to get
we're
that.
just gonna read the trivia question. And then you come on. For a second. Sorry, what were you saying, Tony?
No, I was gonna say, dude, the parlay, 7 legs.
Yes. No, and I'm not gonna lie. Scout's honor did go 4-leg parlay yesterday. Ravens game, Ravens money line. Lamar over 37 rushing yards. Henry over 95 rushing yards. Henry anytime touchdown.
I should say you hit that.
Yeah. So it was riled. But just don't want to get crazy. Also, Ernie says should have shot Sat Love, who did get injured.
Yeah.
Again, we'll get to it. But I want to get to our trivia question first. So we're going to start here with our first trivia question. We'll give you guys a little time to answer. I think it's a good one. I think it's one of those things that's not so obvious that people can get right away. So tonight's game, the winner of it will be the second team this year with the Chiefs, who also won 15 games this year to accomplish that feat. But before that, what was the year in the team that accomplished that feat last? So the last time before this year that a team won 15 games in the regular season. Obviously, we just moved to 17 games. Before that, you had to go 15-1. So you would imagine the list isn't lengthy, and this won't give anything away. There's actually been 8 teams that have done it, including the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So obviously, we'll have a 9th tonight. So pretty good trivia question, Tony.
Honestly, I would say pretty good, dude. And it's interesting. I mean, obviously, including the year as well, is definitely another element. But interesting because obviously, the last thing the dude, I mean, you think back, obviously, the Patriots in
2007.
Oh, it was 07? Okay.
16-0. Only team to go 16-0.
Right. And then obviously the Panthers, that was after the fact, was it not?
The Panthers what?
Did the Panthers not go 15-1?
Did they? I don't know. You have to look it up.
I know. Well, I'm not going to look it up, obviously, but I guess. I feel like it's got to be the Panthers, and I want to say, I don't know what the fuck year was that. Was it 2013? I don't know.
Well, we'll let it linger.
I have to let it linger,
Guesses
dude.
trickle in. One thing that I've been dying to mention, and it was a game where there was a 14.5-point spread. Favorite game of the season, possibly, between the Bucks and the Saints. Obviously, the number one thing here, the Bucks finishing the run. We talked about 4-6, one loss they could have to win the division. They do that exactly, winning today, 27-19 over the Saints, a game that they trailed by 2 scores. Midway through the second quarter, but they come back to win. And the most exciting part of this game, the incentives. I know Baker hit some. I forgot what they were, but I had never seen this before in my life. So the Bucks had gotten the ball back, stopping the Saints, and there was like 30 seconds left. The Saints had one timeout, so it was kneel down formation. But Mike Evans needed 5 yards to go for 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons to start his career, which is a record. Jerry Rice, 14 overall, is the record for consecutive seasons. But that being said, I had never seen a team throw the ball. It just seems like one of those things that's like bad sportsmanship when you're throwing. But I think what it is that those yardage gave him a $3 million bonus. So I think even the people on the Saints were probably rooting for him, like players together. We want him to get it. And it was just such a great moment. He goes nuts after the play because the clock could run out after that because he was in bounds. Everyone storms the field. He's celebrating with his teammates in the locker room. They do the champagne. What an awesome moment that was, Sonny. Yeah,
it really was, dude. I mean, obviously, you said it. I mean, Mike Evans, the amount of 1,000-yard seasons, for him to start his career off and consecutively doing that year in, year out with a team like the Bucks as well. It's pretty out there, dude. Honestly.
He's had every quarterback you could imagine. Tony. I think Josh Freeman was his quarterback at one time.
So to see him accomplish that feat, and then on top of that, to see, obviously the Bucks able to make the playoffs, the revision that Bucker has had, that Buckta has had,
the revision,
the
revival.
Baker,
hey, listen,
dude.
I do it all the time, Tony, but I just had to point it out.
For his career, dude, it really is outstanding. And you see again, like that play really just kind of cultivated the great culture that the Bucks have, and obviously for a team to will their way to a 10-7 season and the playoffs.
Third straight divisional crown after being multiple games under 500 multiple times during all the seasons. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. And again, like having, Baker being a quarterback or a person who was really counted out of the league, dude. So it really is. It is tremendous. Like you said, I've really never seen anything like it, especially at the end of the game like that. It's interesting because, like, you think about, I've seen sometimes, I think it was actually, ironically enough, to go back to keep on the Buccaneers train here. I think it was Brady and Gronk. It was like I remember seeing this video. Literally, like Gronk comes over to Brady, like, "Yo, man, I need one more catch for like $1 million incentive, whatever." And then, like, because it's a video that they're all mic'd up, and even like some other dude on the side was like, "Oh wow, really? Like $1 million, huh?" Like, and then of course the next play, I got you, dude. They get him the ball. Everyone celebrates $1 million. So it's it's little things like that that's on the field, and I guess that you really, don't even realize that's happening, because not for nothing, I'm sure that's happened a ton other times,
But it probably has, but it's never been that dramatic.
Oh, no,
especially
no.
Hansen, and I don't know if he did it for the dramatics, but he was saying like, "This is very odd. This should be kneel down formation, but they're running an offensive play." And I think what set up for it to be perfect was he only needed at that time 5 yards. He ended up getting 9 on the play. Yeah. But the fact that the Saints, their season's over, they want to lose the game for the draft pick.
Right.
And so I think if it was different, if the Saints needed the game or whatever, obviously it wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, they're kind of just going to play coverage back. Because you think that I don't know if you saw the highlight, because I know you said you listened to it, but do you think that they purposely just let him catch the ball? Or
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, dude. I kind of think so too.
I mean, come on, man. Like you said, it doesn't really matter at that point. It's garbage time for the season for both teams, really. And the only reason why you're even running a play is because of Mike Evans. And again, it's just, like you said, you see something like this, and you do, like, it kind of sheds a light on the camaraderie around the NFL, which is nice, because I feel like you really don't get that a lot in between teams, sort of deal. So it was a great moment, and I do think they did it for him, and rightfully so. I mean, listen, the man got his bag, and like, let's go. I mean, they're all professional players, all in it for the same thing here. So, yeah, it's great. And then see the Bucs in the playoffs now. I mean, that's
And
awesome.
how about this? They even get some more help with the Rams starting Jimmy Garoppolo instead of Matthew Stafford. They end up losing to the Seahawks. The Bucs will be the 3 seed, host the Commanders. Rather than being the 4th seed and have to play Minnesota or Detroit.
Yeah.
So a possible break there. Not that anybody's dying to play the Commanders, who ended up winning 12 games and will be the 6th seed, which is kind of nuts.
Crazy.
But just crazy how that works out. And I think, it's gonna be a tough game for the Commanders to go into Tampa. The momentum of that team and the belief that all those players have in Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans. I mean, it's unbelievable in the fact too that Todd Bowles is at the helm of this. Like, it's just something that was so unexpected. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you mentioned Todd Bowles, hilarious. But yeah, the Baker thing too. I mean, and especially after last season too, because they did so well last year, and then it was like the first round they got, I wouldn't say killed, but there was a close game against the Lions. But it was still just first round playoffs out, and you're like, all right, that's probably maybe the furthest they'll go, the furthest you'll probably see Baker go. And then here we are again. And I mean, not for nothing, dude. I kind of like their odds a little bit against the Commanders. I know they're, as it looks smoky and hazy here in the Denver Broncos locker room.
Probably a couple cigars.
How about a couple joints over there in Colorado, dude?
I mean,
that,
it's legal.
dude. Yeah. But nonetheless, dude, I forget their safety, the Buccaneers safety. Is it Whitehead? Jordan Whitehead?
We'll have to.
Pretty sure he was injured. That's gonna be. I mean, that's a little bit of a loss, especially against a team like the Command. It is Jordan Whitehead.
Okay, Jordan Whitehead. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he got into a car accident, dude.
Oh, man, that's terrible.
So he's on the as Michael is practicing his pool game.
There he is.
He's gonna need it.
By the way, Tony, we played 2-on-2, me and Tony versus Renee and Michael. Tony
Great match.
Carrying the load. I literally made one
Team sport,
shot the entire time. But of course, congratulations to Tony for leading us to victory. And we do have Michael Butka here.
That's right, Renee.
Good to have you back,
Yes.
Michael.
Victory.
Barnes,
Yes.
got questions for you.
Yes.
So can you give me your thoughts about Aiden Mahania today hitting those big shots?
Listen, Michael.
your thoughts.
UConn doing UConn things, doing Dan Early-like things. So you love to see it. At one point down 14 in the game. Had command, up 10 late, and then Providence makes that comeback, but they ultimately win by 3.
Up by a 12 weight. 12.
Yes, exactly. So we love to see that. And a couple of things I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
First, did you hear our trivia question? Do you have a guess?
Wait, what's the trivia question?
So the winner of tonight's Sunday Night Football game will be the second team this year to win 15 games. Before that, what year and team accomplished this feat? The last team before this season to win 15 games in a season.
The Patriots.
Incorrect, Michael, but good guess. We'll give you one more. You would think we would get an Ernie guess or a Josh B.
Ernie.
So we'll give it a couple minutes there on the guesses. But just kind of continuing the summary of today, we had some great games around the National Football League, and especially the fact too that, like we had said, a lot of players sitting. You didn't expect it to be that great, but there definitely was a lot of drama. That's for sure. And one game that Ernie actually mentioned, the Bears defeating the Packers for the first time. They had lost 11 in a row. So the first time in a few years here, 24-22. Cairo Santos walking it off, a 51-yard field goal. So the Bears avoid ending the year on a 12-game losing streak. That sends the Packers to the 7th seed. You had Watson injured in this game. You had Jordan Love injured in this game. Ernie had said they should have sat Love. So they're saying it looks like it's an elbow injury, but the fact that you're going to have to go into Philadelphia, maybe with a backup quarterback, and even if you are going with Love, he has to be somewhat compromised. That's an absolute brutal loss for the Packers, and they were obviously playing this game because a win, would have gotten them the 6th seed rather than the 7. So things don't go their way there. And it's a shame because they are an up-and-coming team, but I really do believe that this is going to be, for the Packers season, the nail in the coffin, just the matchup and the fact, too, that you might have to start Malik Willis in a playoff game. And it's just a season where the Packers, unfortunately, down the stretch, some bad luck, losing some games that they should have won. And the fact, too, that they finished third in the NFC North and get a 7 seed as an 11-win team. That's as bad of luck as you can get. And then you couple that with the fact that their quarterback is injured. But, Tony, I was just saying, Packers, the Love injury, the Watson injury, the 7 seed, the matchup against the Eagles next week in Philadelphia, to me, seems unfortunately like the nail in the coffin for their season. Hate to say it, but, it kind of seems like it.
Yeah,
with Willis, right? I mean, how are you winning with Willis in Philadelphia?
You're not. There's no way you are, dude. So it is unfortunate, dude. Jordan Love. I didn't see the hit. I know he landed on his arm, the hand, couldn't feel anything, dude. Yeah. It's definitely, I don't know, some type of nerve problem. But I mean, I don't know, dude. Is he like not for nothing? Is he definitely not playing?
I think they're still doing tests. So,
so I don't know, man. I would think someone though, like if nothing is torn or broken, he's gonna try and play. So, I mean, it is tough because obviously against like just an absolute powerhouse like the Eagles here. It's going to be, really tough for a completely healthy Packers team to win.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's like basically Jacobs against a good Philadelphia defense has to run for like 180, honestly.
It does kind of sucks, honestly, dude. Yeah. Like just us talking about it. Like, I mean, I guess it's going to be sweet for the week 1 matchups, but to think that the Steelers, that the Packers are going to be out after week 1, it is kind of tough to think, dude, because, not for nothing, I was really pulling for the Packers all year long. But I guess somebody's got to lose, I suppose, right?
Yeah, and it just also, like, let's be honest, I'm always pulling for the Packers as well, just like the whole history of the organization.
You've been
what
there.
They've done, being there, and just what they've done in building that team. But let's be real. I mean, the Eagles have obviously outperformed them this year, and they do deserve to beat them the way that they played this year. We'll see if they back it up, but it is tough to win in Philadelphia. The Falcons finish off a disappointing year, losing in overtime to the Panthers. So the Panthers, I believe, I don't know if it was 3 straight to end the season, but Bryce Young really finishing on a high note here, throwing the game-winning touchdown to Miles Sanders in overtime to win this game 44-38. So Baker's former offensive coordinator, Dave Canales, seems like he's working his magic there with Bryce Young. I mean, just going into this year, he was considered a bust, and it was 2 out of the last 3 that the Panthers won. So pretty good after the start that they had this year. But a disappointing end to this season with the Falcons. Penix, I feel like in the 3 starts that he had, played okay. This was probably his best game, even though he had 17 incompletions. He throws for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then obviously what they're really looking forward to, which will be his 3rd season next year, Bijan Robinson really broke out this year, had 170 yards on the ground in this game, 2 touchdowns. And then Drake London, also another young receiver. They have 10 for 187, 2 scores. So I think the future is bright with Atlanta, and I think the signs are there that Penix can be the guy to lead them there. Yeah. Obviously, it just might take some time. But I would think with a good offseason, they should be in contention for a wild card spot next year.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And I mean, you speak about those 2 guys, Bijan Robinson and Drake London, and we'll get to Michael Penix in a second because I agree with you. I think he is going to be a great quarterback. But Drake London, over 1,200 yards receiving, which is, lands him in the top 10 in terms of receiver. And then you have Bijan Robinson, who has almost 1,500 yards, which lands him in the top 4 in terms of rushing running backs here. I know he had over 300 carries as well, but that fits. 300 carries, put him at 5th in the league. His yards at 4th in the league. Like, they had 2 massive offensive weapons there. And like you said, dude, I think it does come back to Michael Penix and his development, and I think he does seem like a good quarterback. And I know, obviously, we're sitting here talking about an overtime loss to the Falcons, 8-9 season, not great. Especially, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago when we were like, they're going to start Penix. Like, they got 3 games left.
They could get in.
It was Giants, Panthers, Commanders, and we did kind of label the Panthers game as a victory for Michael Penix. But nonetheless, I mean, he does throw a good game. You mentioned his stats. And like you said, dude, I think he's going to be having a bright future in Atlanta. And if they could get, get those core 3 guys that we mentioned, Bijan and London and Penix to all kind of gel and get that chemistry going. And for that to trickle down to the rest of the team, maybe you draft well or pick up whoever. Because I know who's their McLeod. McLeod's another receiver, right? He's pretty
he's running
solid.
back, but he caught some passes out of the back.
Okay, running back. Yeah, so there you go. I mean,
Algier, the running back as well.
Oh,
He had
that's right.
1,000 yards a couple years ago. One thing that I'm interested to see what
backs,
they
dude.
do. They do have a lot of running backs. Is with Kyle Pitts. His rookie year in 21, he had 1,000 yards receiving. Since then, Tony, he's had just over 1,500 yards receiving in 3 years combined.
wow.
And the last 3 years too, only 9 touchdowns. But maybe you could point to this year, especially, and even the last couple of years, inconsistent quarterback play. Maybe a full season, with Michael Penix will, kind of up his production.
Yeah.
But the ability is there.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, like you said, the ability is there. I mean, you look at the game, too. You mentioned his lackluster performance of Kyle Pitts, only 15 yards, 2 receptions, only targeted 3 times. So I'd be interested to see, how often he gets the targets. I mean, obviously, with Drake London having that great year, he's getting primarily the targets. But again, if you think about, maybe the future for Atlanta, I mean, defenses are going to start keying on Drake London. Maybe Pitts is more open downfield. Because just looking at his stats, I mean, not great at all. Only 47 receptions on the year, which is kind of wild and very, very low in terms of the rest of the league here. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I would imagine, though, the next couple of years with Penix developing, I mean, everyone's numbers are probably going to go up offensively,
Yeah. So, no, I think they're a team on the rise, and it seems like, Raheem Morris is a solid coach, so they'll look to grow with him. I think the defense played well this year. And before we continue on with the games here, just want to get to finalize this trivia question. The two of you, and we'll start with Michael Bucket here.
Right here.
Final guesses on the trivia question. Michael, go.
Yes. Of the Steelers?
Incorrect. So it is up to Tony here to get the trivia question.
Renee.
Try to bail us out.
I am going to go with the Panthers, dude.
What's the year?
Oh, I know it.
I'm trying to think, dude. You can't say Michael.
Michael.
Michael. I was a freshman in college in 2013. And I want to say it happened before I was in college. 2012? It's not 2012, though. Is it 2012?
No.
I don't think it is 2012.
I mean, really, that is the guess.
That was my
and
guess,
I
I
think
guess.
Michael looked
Even
it up.
though I wasn't like locking it in, you said no already, whatever.
No, I
dude.
didn't.
Oh, okay. Why do you?
I know it off the top of my head.
What is it?
You already guessed wrong, Michael.
Wait. Give it to Michael.
2015.
That is correct. 2015. And they played against Peyton Manning.
I told you, Tony.
Song, the Budweiser. So that is the answer to our first
That was a
trivia
weird
question.
Super Bowl.
It took a while to get there,
Yeah.
but we did get there. And
It
I think
happened while I
that's
was
a
in
good
college.
segue to get to our second trivia question. So we'll see if Tony can have better luck here.
Oh, second
watch
one.
out,
Of the
dude.
8 teams who have won 15 regular season games, only one has won the Super Bowl. Name the team and the year.
Wait, of the 15 teams,
8 teams.
Eight
have
te-
won
8 teams, sorry.
15 games.
regular
ever.
season games only, who won the Super Bowl?
Only team. One team. In what year?
Wasn't the Patriots, wasn't the Panthers.
We'll let it fester.
That's
for
a tough
second.
one, dude.
Maybe Josh B comes back, right? Could be.
I would think Josh B would know this one,
Yeah.
dude. He's a seasoned veteran.
And we'll wait for your guess, Michael. But is anything kind of coming to your mind here?
About what?
The answer to that question.
I'm going to say, are the Patriots 03?
Just to give you some help here, and we'll wait for another guess for a little bit. That is incorrect, Tony. So extra point pending. So we'll let that one fester for a little bit. We're about 20 minutes or so away from kickoff between the game of the year, potentially, between the Lions and the Vikings. Before we continue on, I just want to mention about that game. We talked about it all week, Tony. I feel like it's just so unfair that the loser of this game gets the 5 seed and doesn't have any home games this year. It makes me feel like the playoff seeding is broken, or do you feel like it's only fair when your division? Come on.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, it is just win your division.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Josh B says Colts incorrect, and you got to do the year, Josh, by the way.
And I just feel like, not for nothing, but maybe I would, maybe I don't know this for sure, but I feel like as long as I've lived, there hasn't really been that competitive of a division like that, right?
Ever. Not two 14-win teams. Obviously, with these
what the
schedules,
hell,
it's never
dude?
happened before.
Yeah, of course. But even so, and then to throw in the Packers in there, ridiculous, So obviously it is kind of tough. Like you said, though, I mean, Week 18, prime time, potential game of the year. Like that. This is a great matchup. I'm so excited to watch this game here. And let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah. What do you think here, Michael? Do you think it's not fair that one of these teams has to be the 5 seed wild card?
Unfair.
And what is your prediction for the game? Lions -3, total 56.5. What's your score prediction here?
Give me Lions 38, Vikings 35.
Wow.
Game-winning field goal.
And I
Jake
think,
Bates.
Tony, when we did this, you had
You watched the show on Friday?
I believe I had a similar prediction.
Jake Bates.
But I believe I was 41-38. I think.
Yeah, I think it was.
41-38.
Yeah, but it was the Jake Bates
It
game
was Jake
ender.
Bates from deep,
Deep,
too, of course. But I think this is shaping up to be an all-time classic. It's interesting, though. You had said, though, you're I think it was a 13-point margin of victory, right? In this
Was
game?
it that much?
I thought
it was,
so.
I think
Now,
no, it sounds about
Giving
right.
it a second chance. Any alterations there, or you believe
No,
that it'll be the
Vikings.
late turnover? I think you
Darnold,
said,
yes,
right?
Goff down the field turns it over, interception.
Gotcha.
What?
Yes, dude.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
hey, I mean, that's what Tony truly believes.
Let's
So,
go,
hey,
dude.
listen, I mean, we got to give it to him. Yeah, so excited for that game to start. Just looking at some of the other scores from today, kind of like nauseating. The Rodgers best game of the season, 4 touchdowns, 274. The Jets, even though they would have been eliminated anyway, officially knocking the Dolphins out of the playoffs here. Is this Aaron Rodgers' last game in the NFL, Tony?
No. There's no way. I mean, we spoke a little bit about it before the show, or maybe even earlier on. I mean, I just think he has that. He's got too much of an ego to put the ball down on such a lackluster season. I mean, he's definitely playing again. He's playing for the Jets next year. It's what he's going to be doing. I don't think, he's someone who thinks he's done with New York, done with football. I know there's a lot of talks about him going to other teams. There even talks about the Niners, dude. Who knows about that, dude? But regardless, I think he's with the Jets. They end up figuring it out. It is kind of crazy to see his best game of the season come now against the Dolphins. I mean, not for nothing. And then, you can come in here and say, oh, well, late in the season, whatever, dude. I mean, the Dolphins were playing for their season today.
Mm-hmm.
And Rodgers had his best game against them. And they're not a bad team by any means. Obviously, they're 8-9, but still, compared to the Jets anyway, way better record. But I don't know, man. It's tough. I hate it, to be honest. I hate that this happened. Because I do look at this game and I'm pumped.
What did they played well, and you're saying there could be hope for next season. But like we've talked about, who's going to be the coach, and can you build a team with Aaron Rodgers, turning 42 in a season and kind of being like the quasi general manager of the team. It just, with a new one coming in as well, it just feels like such a dicey situation.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're not wrong, dude. It's going to be tough, obviously, but again, I mean, it puts the Jets in a tough position because it's like, how do you? I mean, you're not going to get rid. You're not going to like.
I still think the best move would be to get rid of him. Just kind of curious, Michael. First of all, you think Rodgers is coming back? You were saying to the Jets.
I think he'll come back.
But I'm saying, do you think it's the Jets or another team? Jets. And I've heard nothing really like, a solid rumor or anything that potentially, especially if the season ends the way that it feels like it is for Pittsburgh, that they would potentially have interest. How tight would you be if he was the Steeler?
Who?
Rodgers.
Why? Wait, really?
Wait.
They have interest?
They're near the top
What
of
about,
the betting odds.
wait,
So Vegas.
oh, okay.
Wait, what about Russell Wilson though?
Well,
happened to him?
the
Justin
way
Fields?
that he's finishing the season, I don't know if they're
It's
going to
weak.
want to fork over, $100 million to him. Going on what, 35, 36 years old?
Yeah.
Going
I
on
guess so.
37 in November. Question:
what
Why
do you
the
got?
heck is the Golden Globes on? Why the heck are we watching some award show?
I mean, I like the
sure
Golden Globes,
Dean will
dude.
switch it over
Okay.
to
Yeah,
NBC
yeah.
momentarily.
No, I'm sure.
Okay, no. On it.
But Josh B also saying
Great.
if it's not like a Rodgers season in Green Bay, probably an old team.
Oh,
What do you think he means there?
Burns. Lions wearing their black
does he
jerseys
mean?
tonight.
I'm sure he'll tell us. Yeah, the black uniforms,
Yeah, yep.
we love it. So it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Jets. 5-12, finishing a year that started with Super Bowl aspirations. And it's crazy, too. The general touchdown interceptions won't look bad. I think it ends up being 28-11 for Rodgers, just under 4,000 yards, but a QBR under 50, and 50 is league average. So obviously it wasn't great. I think slightly better than his last season in Green Bay.
And under the league average. So.
Barnes.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, a ton of uncertainty.
I've wondered this. So, which is the coach of the Houston Rockets?
Who is the coach of the Houston Rockets?
Yeah,
I think
I'm
it's
really
Udoka.
wondering. Wait, who?
The guy who used to coach the Celtics.
Oh,
Ime Udoka. Right?
oh,
Is it actually? I don't know why you
Yeah.
asked me.
oh.
And
That's
then
him.
Josh B saying Steel Curtain 86 Bears. Oh, so he's guessing the trivia question. That's
Udoka
what
confirmed. Yes.
all right,
But
cool.
No,
86 Bears?
no, incorrect, Tony.
Wait, so what's the trivia question?
Of the 8 teams who have won 15
Oh, that
regular
one.
season games,
Oh, we're still on that one,
only
Barnes.
one
Yeah, that's the last trivia.
has gone on
Yeah.
to win the Super Bowl.
Damn
Name that
it.
team.
We'll let it linger for just a couple more minutes.
It says
we get another
Tessin, by the way, Renee.
guess. Another game. I guess it had to, it mattered for seeding. The Commanders finished off a dream season, pulling Daniels from the game. Mariota coming in, throwing the game-winning touchdown pass, 15 of 18, 161, 2 touchdowns. But they win 12 games this season under first-year quarterback Jaden Daniels, first-year head coach Dan Quinn, and they're going to be an interesting, out in the playoffs. I mean, they're going to have to face Baker in the Bucks, but I think it'll be a fun matchup. That'll be for sure, and kind of interesting in this game too. Mariota getting a shot.
Didn't even realize.
Maybe this helps him in free agency, possibly. Be like a bridge quarterback. We'll see, but I don't think he looked terrible. Obviously, they get the win, but what a season it's been for Washington. They've been one of the worst run organizations in the NFL for the past 25, 30 years. New ownership, new coach, new quarterback, and it all changes. And I can't wait to see them play in the playoffs.
Yeah, not to mention there was
It'll be interesting.
controversy out of the front office and stuff like that. So
Yes.
kind of wild. And the quarterback matchup, you talk about Mariota, how about Trey Lance getting him to start for Dallas? I mean,
They trade the 4th-round pick for him.
yeah, pretty wild. Should be interesting to see, I guess, what happens with Trey Lance, by the way, because you think about someone who kind of got shafted, I feel like, coming into this league.
Purdy.
The whole Purdy thing. Who would have thought
Injury
that?
as
You
well.
were injured, Purdy comes in, becomes relevant,
And
after
probably
being
a
irrelevant.
$200-300 million quarterback.
Yeah, which is really ridiculous. So who knows what happens with him in his career? Almost like you said too, with Marcus Mariota as well, another guy who, I guess maybe you could say unfortunate circumstances with the Titans, I suppose. But at the end of the day, he could be maybe another Baker story, where he comes in, he has problems, it's kind of his fault, but then he figures it out. But then again, it's like, who's going to take a flyer on him? We'll see. It won't be the Commanders, obviously, because Jaden Daniels absolutely killed it all year long.
Yeah,
he
did.
And like you said, like the Chips guy.
Oh, yes, I forgot. But that was hilarious, though.
Yeah,
because
dude.
it seemed very outlandish.
It
when
was.
Said it, but
We
Jaden
laughed at it.
Daniels,
We all laughed.
Lit the league on fire this year as a rookie.
Franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
He was totally right.
Yeah, turned the franchise around.
Killed it, dude.
Sure did.
And not
Yeah.
even just through the air. He's one of those great dynamic quarterbacks. I believe he was first in the league for scrambling for first downs.
Oh, that doesn't
Which really doesn't surprise me at all.
He did,
Obviously using a lot of his
okay.
legs here, as well as the targets downfield. McLaurin, the dude Zacchaeus, who
former
obviously-
Eagle.
Yes, former
Yes.
Eagle.
Who's from?
And they have Brian
who?
Robinson, the running back.
Who are we talking
Well.
about
Austin Eckler, I think, came back for this game.
Austin
as well.
Eckler, great. Zach Ertz,
the grizzled
veteran, dude.
Veteran.
And then Austin Eckler, I think, is awesome too. Talk about his story is tremendous. Obviously, they have a lot of rushing too. Brian Robinson, they've been using a lot this year. So it really is great to see a team like the Commanders, be successful here, and Jaden Daniels in the playoffs. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. On the other side of the thing here, the Cowboys finish off yet another disappointing season. 7-10 here. Obviously, we know about all the injuries, Dak and the hamstring,
Lamb.
McCarthy, Lamb.
Wait.
No, McCarthy is just like
McCarthy?
his contract. The coach is in the
He's a
last
coach,
year
though.
of his deal.
Oh.
Know what I'm saying? Like what they're gonna do moving forward.
That brings me up to the next question. So, do we think he stays or goes?
I was going to ask you guys that.
Barnes.
Start with you, Michael. I was going to ask you.
You know, just knowing how bad the Cowboys are of an organization, I think they're keeping him.
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah,
they're keeping him.
I honestly agree as well. Kind of interested to see what you think, Tony.
I kind of think so too. Not for nothing.
Yeah.
It does seem like the players like him. And honestly, it's funny. Michael even spoke to it. Michael Theophil over there. His little appearance in Enigma does kind of paint him as a pretty level-headed, loved individual. So, I mean, I think he will stay, dude. And I think he could have success with the Cowboys.
There's talent there.
There's so much talent.
The thing is, though, Tony.
What's the thing, Michael?
Tony, the thing is, Cowboys suck when it comes to the postseason.
Yeah, no, they do.
I
They
think
obviously
95 was the last Super Bowl, is it?
Yeah,
95 sounds about right. Yeah, great year.
95, yep.
But regardless, there is there's a lot wrong, I guess, with the team. Obviously, you said playoff hopes.
Everything's wrong with the
have to
Dallas
be alive, and it's just like for the Cowboys, to go to throughout a year where they were undefeated last season at home, correct? And this year they're 2-7. I mean, there isn't, there's not much of an excuse for a significant drop off like that. Again, like there is, talent on the roster. Obviously, losing they lost Dak, maybe halfway through the season, maybe?
Not even.
Yeah.
Probably 6-7 games.
Which is, obviously that's tough, but obviously they didn't start off great either. So I don't know. We'll see. It is kind of one of those weird situations because it's like, all right, like at the second half of the season, you have your quarterback, and then not for nothing, you look at how Rico Dowdle played. It's like you want to bring him back. You want to give Dak another shot at this, and you almost kind of want to run it back with the same guys. Almost, and just figure out a few other tweaks. Exactly.
Bland misses a lot.
It's like one of those weird, unfortunate years, I suppose. Which, if you're a Cowboys fan, sucks. Because again, it was like that. This was going to be a year where you could see yourself getting over the hump.
Because you were one of the best teams in the league last year. Just ultimately had a absolute egg against Green Bay in the
Packers,
playoffs.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Maybe a short-term deal with McCarthy. We'll have to see. That was the Evans celebration on the TV to our left there. By the way, Josh B says 49ers. I'm just spitting teams at this point. Wasn't the steel curtain ? Incorrect. And I think at this time, I think it's probably best that I just give the answer.
I don't even know. I didn't even guess.
We'll go you two. One final guess, just in case.
You want team and year?
Yes.
Oh God.
I'm gonna say it. Was it before 86?
After.
Before.
Really?
It was before.
Michael, it was before. Did Josh guess the Packers already?
He kind of did, but that's not the answer.
Or might have it, Barnes.
What?
Cowboys 72.
I'm gonna say the Washington Redskins 1982.
No.
Pending.
What was it?
Josh B had it's like when you just swing over the top of that curveball, it was the 85 Bears, not the 86 Bears.
Fuck.
Widely known as one of the best defenses of all time, Mike Ditka.
Tony
as the head coach. So
Ditka.
I'm sure that is going to keep Josh up tonight, ever so close to getting that trivia.
Josh getting no sleep tonight, dude.
No sleep.
Barnes.
Yes.
I wanted to ask. So do you think Mahaney should start for Liam McNeely while he's hurt? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yes, Michael. Yes. Moving along here in terms of the results of today, we saw the Texans bench Stroud today and go with the backup quarterback, but they win 23-14 to defeat the Titans, give the Titans that number one pick. And Dameon Pierce, who had a great year a couple years ago, 176 on the ground and a touchdown for the Texans. So they were already locked into that 4 seed. Davis Mills actually came in for Stroud. Stroud did play like the first drive, going 6 for 6 with a touchdown. But it's interesting for the Texans. They've definitely had an up and down year. I think there were higher expectations for Stroud, but they had a lot of injuries. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the postseason. But I think regardless of that, I mean, you keep the injuries in mind and keep in mind just how talented CJ Stroud is. I think this is a team that has a bright future. It's just going to be about kind of getting those right pieces around CJ Stroud. And I just think, it's going to be a tough task for them going up against the Chargers. And I know the Chargers have their own flaws, but I think definitely a more complete team than the Texans. But it seems like maybe it's anti-Harbaugh, Tony, but it seems like you're still thinking Texans over the Chargers next week.
I mean, it's tough. I would, I guess. I mean, if you want to look at the Texans, entire season, another team that's been struggling in terms of injury. Stephon Diggs earlier on.
Mhm.
Tank
Dell,
Dell,
obviously.
obviously, which, I mean, you think about that. I mean, the tears that were shed during that, it was just so tough, dude. So I mean, you lose those two players, obviously, and then I really do. I think Diggs so early on in the season just absolutely killed them,
brutal.
dude.
That was brutal.
Because I don't know, it's just not for nothing. The whole thing with Stephon and the Bills and I guess I don't know if you call it bad blood, but regardless, there was definitely some tension, and it just felt like that Diggs was looking to go out there and prove himself. And you're like, oh my God, he lands himself on the Texans team. He's got CJ Stroud. You feel really good for him and what he could produce for the team and himself as a career. And he gets hurt. He gets hurt early on in the season. That sucks, dude. Season-ending injury. I think that really took a lot of the sales out of the Texans. And then, the Tank Dell injury speaks for itself as well. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of tough to think that they could go against the Chargers and beat them. Because to be honest, it seems like the Chargers right now, that is their game to lose. And not for nothing. I mean, they seem, you look at them this week. I mean, they're dialed in. They're ready to go for the playoffs. So it's tough. I mean, I don't think I would pick the Texans.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't either. I agree with you.
Yeah, no, Chargers, I think, are a tough team. Like I said, there's some things to clean up, but the foundation is definitely there. We saw the Colts win 26-23 in overtime over Jacksonville. So the battle of two teams with definitely uncertain futures. One part of that future, though, is Jonathan Taylor, who ran for 177 and a touchdown for the Colts. Flacco getting the start in this one with the Anthony Richardson injury, 264 and a touchdown. We know about Michael Pittman Jr. He had 6 for 72. Alec Pierce caught a touchdown. He had a strong year this year. And then Josh Downs, their leading receiver, 10 for 94. So interesting, with McAfee, we talked about on Friday, attacking the team here, the culture, the questions about Richardson. Shane Steichen, first 2 years as head coach, 17-17. I would think they bring him back, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do at quarterback. Do they try to trade Richardson? Do they bring in competition? I mean, kind of an interesting dilemma here for the Colts.
Yeah, I would. It is an interesting dilemma. And I'm honestly on that train with McAfee, I suppose. I mean, the Colts are, I think, fumbling their own roster construction here. I mean, obviously the Anthony Richardson thing is unfortunate, but at this point, I think it's a move on.
2 years in.
2 years in.
2 years left.
2 years left, and a couple injuries, and not a lot of good stats to show for his
quitting
time
on the team
here.
Potentially as well.
In Indianapolis, quitting on the team is not great, dude, and not for nothing. Joe Flacco's not your quarterback either. So go out there. You got Trey Lance. You got Marcus Mariota. You got Sam Darnold potentially. Who knows? Aaron Rodgers. I wouldn't get him though. But on the Colts, I'm going to be shopping for a quarterback. If you want to try and get rid of Richardson, sure. But I would bring in someone who could be an everyday quarterback, and because Flacco and Richardson are not going to be it, and not for nothing. Pittman, Alec Pierce, they have some good receivers, right?
I kind of think no, they do. I think the foundation
it's like you got to figure out a quarterback situation.
I think bring in a veteran though, and keep Richardson because I think his value. Darnold would be great. I don't know if Minnesota.
I would not go Cousins though.
I wouldn't go Cousins, but I just think Richardson, his value is so low right now. Not worth trading him for a 6th or 7th round pick. Let him sit for a season. So maybe you get a Mariota, somebody like that to start. Would you Tyrod Taylor maybe?
I mean, I think Trey Lance is kind of interesting.
Trey Lance is interesting. You could get another kind of quarterback in a similar spot.
Yeah.
So those are all ideas. So it's going to be interesting to see what direction they go. What's that, Michael?
So next question: where do you think JJ McCarthy's going after this year, since Sam Darnold's doing so good?
I think they haven't decided what they're going to do. I think tonight's game, as well as their first playoff game, and if they advance further than that, will be the telltale in terms of what they're thinking. It seems like the sentiment, going into the year, it was a certainty. Okay, McCarthy, the guy next year. Darnold playing so well, and especially if he has a good postseason, Tony, you would think then they would lean towards trading McCarthy, and maybe the Colts could be a spot for McCarthy.
That's true.
The Steelers maybe could land him.
Yeah,
I would love that.
It just seems like Tomlin likes the veterans, though. So I think
true.
he's going to go veteran, maybe keep Fields as well.
Yeah,
I think it was Tomlin liking the veterans is that these guys get old.
Yeah, that's true.
And then other bones just wear down.
No,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. I mean, obviously they're stuck with Big Ben for so many
Yeah.
years. Even after it seemed like
18.
his prime was a little bit, kind of going downward.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you put in
Yeah, it
18
happens.
years.
Yeah.
Like they'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But I guess we'll see what happens. I suppose. I mean, I don't know, man. If I'm the Vikings, not for nothing, dude. Like, I don't think I would move either quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could do that. I think just the thought is, you invest in Darnold, you could get draft picks, for McCarthy. But
Right.
like you said, I mean, you never can have too many quarterbacks, but it just feels like, okay, then you're still going to have to trade McCarthy eventually. So maybe it depends on what the trade market is, but I would think it'll be robust because there's a lot of quarterback questions around the league. One team that you would think doesn't have any despite his injury this year is Jacksonville. They lose this game, finished 4-13. Feels like Peterson is done.
Yeah.
But I think there is talent there. So I think, this next head coach and maybe a new general manager as well, Trent Baalke, getting a little long in the tooth there and not getting the results, Tony. But I think this is a situation you could turn around. It would be somewhat attractive with Lawrence, with some of the skill guys for a prospective head coach.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I think that Jacksonville seems like one of the teams here with wasted talent, I would say. Obviously with Trevor, unfortunate injury, whatever though.
Yeah.
But take
Bigsby, yep.
out of the backfield,
ETN.
great. ETN Jr. as well, which is great.
Ingram.
I mean, obviously you maybe want to add a receiver or two, but like you said, I think your prime role here is figure out a new coach, new GM, to construct a better roster, to put down a better strategy in the field. Because I mean, not for nothing, dude. I mean, at 4-13, I don't care about the Lawrence injury. Like what the hell?
Yeah,
right? Like,
I mean, just a complete letdown season, similar to one that the Jets had. As we are time for the national anthem here.
Yes.
But while we're waiting for the game start here, also the Patriots. We mentioned winning today, losing the number one pick. We talked about Vrabel coming in. They don't play Drake May, but yet they still win the game here. And the Bills didn't matter for their seeding, going to 13-4. Trubisky getting the start, only 100 yards through the air. Even former Jet great Mike White got into this game. But the Bills, as the 2 seed, you would imagine would be ever so dangerous. And you would think the Patriots, with this high draft pick, with potentially Mike Vrabel coming in, not that I want to see it, would be a team that you could say could turn it around a lot quicker maybe than you thought with Gerard Mayo as coach.
Yeah, I guess so. And the whole Gerard Mayo thing is pretty interesting, but
May looks good though. That's kind of my point.
He does.
Vrabel,
He
I
looks
think is a
really
good coach.
dude.
Did any of you hear about the Georgia and the Notre Dame game again?
Yes, yeah.
Because of the shootout on.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah, of
crazy.
Horrible
That was a
straight up
terrible
here.
tragedy, but fortunately they were able to, eventually play the game.
Yeah,
It
I was
a great
watching the
game.
mayor make a statement today. I was watching the mayor of New Orleans make a statement today.
And yeah, no, that was crazy.
It's wild.
Also, just wanted to touch on Eagles win the game with
Not good, Tony.
McKee, their third string
No, not
quarterback, the backup. They win this game 20-13, despite Malik Neighbors setting the Giants receiving record in this game. He had a huge game. Obviously disappointing for the Giants going 3-14. Thought they would maybe be competitive. That is the organization thought going into this year. So seems like there's some uncertainty about Shane, about Dable, and they don't get the number one pick. They get the third pick. You would think there would be no quarterback available. Maybe they have to move up. But I think one thing's for certain, they do have a number one wide receiver in Neighbors. But I don't know. I think they're going to end up keeping the current regime in place, but I think it might be a mistake, especially granted that you're expecting, a new quarterback to come in here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really stupid.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
Yeah. No, and they've made some mistakes in the draft. So
So
I would think we'll find about that soon. Also, Tyrone Tracy had one of the more underrated rookie seasons at running back as well. So there are a couple guys that are good, but a lot of work needs to be done. And you're definitely sure that the fans are becoming disgruntled. The Eagles, impressive finishing this season, 14-3, the number 2 seed. Obviously, we said they'll play the Packers, and they're going to be dangerous. And what a turnaround season for them. Do you see them as potentially? I mean, I know we talk a lot about the Lions and the Vikings, but do you think potentially they're almost in a way, even though they won 14 games, somewhat underrated? That it seems like everyone regards them.
I
as
think
the
they're
third best
overrated.
team in the NFC, or maybe even in the whole league.
I think they're
depending on
overrated.
how you look at it.
I think they're very
Really?
overrated.
Why is that, Michael Hurts? Or
Well, because I feel like they're a fluke. Like they always fuck up winning
Yeah, no, I mean, I can see where you're coming from, Michael, especially, with last year. I mean, the locker room troubles.
Yeah.
We spoke about it. It seemed like their head coach was about to be fired, and then all of a sudden they come back, locker room's good.
Yeah.
They bring in Saquon, and
Yeah.
they're healthy and playing well. And it seems like there was never really an issue between him or Brown or Hurts or whoever. So I don't know. I could see where you would think, oh, this is like a fraudulent team. Maybe they're really haven't squashed that beef. Maybe they're just skating by because of their talent. Playoffs happen under the gun, the pressure, they crumble, could happen. Personally, for me though, I don't think so.
Could I ask another question?
Yeah, what do you got?
Do we think Tomlin's going to be coaching the Steelers next year?
Yes, I think he's going to coach for at least 5 more years.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It'll be interesting to see, though. And,
I feel like until he wants to retire, he's going to be coaching.
Yeah,
there, right?
absolutely. I think he has a lifetime contract. A couple quick comments here before we get to kickoff.
Yes.
My dad says, great show tonight, guys. So
Your dad?
Appreciate him. Yes. And, my mom watching the show. Shout out to them. Jay Bird says, Darnold legacy game tonight. Going to solidify a spot in the Vikings big, in all caps, game tonight. I hope the Jets bring Rex back. And it's just like, I don't think he's your number one option, but we've talked about this many, many times. If the cupboard is bare, it might end up being your best option. But from the face of it, it's not. But I think as the interviewing process goes, it may end up being your best option.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, already Vrabel off the table.
Yeah, I mean, not officially, but more than likely.
Yeah, exactly. More than likely. I mean, unless the Jets come in here and swoon him.
Yeah, $100 million John Gruden type deal.
John Gruden.
It's not going to happen. So, again, like you said, all of a sudden now your pool of coaches you can pull from is becoming rapidly tiny. Do I think we should bring Rex back? I don't think so.
I mean, you'd like to see him grow the younger coach, but again, if Rodgers is that's why it's so messy with Rodgers.
Exactly.
It really is.
Bad.
And Adams as well. Adams is a prima donna, even though he's very good, but he definitely is still, has a little bit of an ego thing.
Boys, I just want to make a quick is shout out to Kev doing Josh B.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you really?
There we go. Let's go.
Boom.
Right. Also, just wanted to mention, we talked about it before, the 38-0 win for the Broncos. So Chiefs fall to 15-2, obviously a number one seed throughout the AFC playoffs. And of course, we'll look to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. But what a comeback season for the Broncos here, going 10-7. Nick's 4 touchdown passes in this game really gave Jaden Daniels a run for his money in terms of offensive rookie of the year. But I think of recent memory, I mean, obviously we think about Washington. This is right up there with such an impressive turnaround story 1 year in, especially after it looked like Peyton was going to be a disaster in Denver.
Yeah, Washington, dude. It's great. I mean, you spoke about Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels being one of the top rushing quarterbacks in the league. Bo Nix in that stat line. I mean, he rushed for the second most first down conversions, scrambling.
Deceptive speed.
Yeah, exactly. Very deceptive speed, and he's not at all afraid to use his legs. I mean, if he gets of like a sight of some type of gap, I mean, he just rushed out of the pocket real quick. He's gone. So it's good to see that out of him, and obviously McLaughlin, solid rusher, I suppose. But Cortland Sutton, the name that you've talked about, you've
bonus money
quite a couple
over
times
1,000 yards this year.
Yep, Marvin Mims as well. Javonte Williams. I mean, he has targets downfield, and like you said, I mean, it seems like him and Sean Payton as the first play of the game. He was a rush by Gibbs,
probably 1 or 2 yards.
Second and 8 coming up.
I was going to ask you though, they'll be the 7th seed. Will be in Buffalo. Any chance they keep that tight? We know about their defense, but obviously Buffalo playoffs hosting a game, kind of tough to go there, especially for a rookie quarterback. And who knows? There could be snow.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
It's over.
Like 3 touchdowns or no?
Probably. I would say conservative 2 touchdowns.
And even if that happens, though, still it's a great season as Williams picks up a couple on the screen pass. But we're looking at 3rd and medium here on the first drive of the game.
Barnes, real quick, can you check the top 5 paid college coaches, please?
Could you actually look it up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm really curious, man.
Just because I was just looking at something else.
They were just showing some stats for Goff, by the way. It seems that he's at least top 4 in almost every statistical category for a quarterback through these 17 weeks so far of the regular season.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a story. What
Goff has
been
been great, dude.
To revitalize this
72%
franchise
completion
along
percentage.
with the rest of the team, and of course Dan Campbell. We're gonna take a live look on here. 3rd and 5, dropping back, pressure coming It's completed, but it's a Gibson. He
first
turns
up,
around.
yes.
Looks like he wasn't even going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and instead it is a first down.
Bang.
Lions.
Guys, this is okay. So the top 5, well, it should be Hurley. Like it goes Bill Self, Hurley, Calipari, Tom Izzo, and Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, all grizzled vets for the most part.
Question.
Yes.
Why is Bruce Pearl getting paid so much if he's not done shit in March?
He did get to the Final Four with Auburn.
Yeah,
Bruce
true.
Pearl, actually started at University of Wisconsin.
Wait, really?
Milwaukee.
Wait,
way
really?
back when. Made it to the Sweet 16.
What's his name? Bruce
Really,
went
Barnes?
to Tennessee, got fired for some recruiting
Really?
scandal. Kind of like a Richard situation.
Really,
potentially.
dude?
We don't know the finer details there. But.
That's all right, dude. College, whatever.
Question for you.
Put the fries in the bag.
Why is Bill Self the top paid college coach? Like why isn't it? Hurley.
He's
Joshua
won.
McCoy.
He's won two championships though. Self.
Yeah, but not back to back though.
No, Michael, it's close. When you're a good coach, you're a good coach. People are going to be in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Second
2nd and 13 as they're backed up here. Carried to Gibbs. Looks like it'll be coupled. So we're looking at 3rd and long here. For the Lions.
2nd and 13. That's tough.
Don't get me wrong here, Barnes, but a 6-year, $50 million contract is still a good deal.
It is.
That's still a great contract.
It is absolutely a good deal.
Vikings defense, by the way, tied for 3rd in the NFL for takeaways. 31. Only team in the NFL to have a takeaway in every single game.
Yeah.
So watch out for that Jared Goff turnover late in the 4th quarter to seal the game.
Third down. We didn't have one of those all season. 3rd and 8 in the gun.
They handed
carry
it
to
off,
Gibbs,
who
and it
gets
looks like he's getting blown
stuffed
up.
in the
A loss of
backfield.
5. So
Why the fuck are you
Minnesota
doing that?
coming out firing. Campbell likes to run
this
the
is
ball
a
in
dude,
those
but
situations.
This is the problem, dude. Dan Campbell, big
Dan Campbell's
spots,
aggressive.
poor choices, poor decisions. His 3rd one, you're running it. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, and you get stuffed as well, almost as if the Vikings anticipated that.
It's so funny. Jay, a little out of touch here, says Bengals in the playoffs! ! When they're not going to be in the playoffs. But good try, Jay.
The shades are on.
Yeah, the shades are on.
Nice try,
Josh
Jay.
B says Butka, by the way, so he's rallied for you.
Josh B, what's up?
And just wanted to touch on as Fox gets ready to punt this ball away. We mentioned the Chargers, winning those 11 games. Herbert today, 28-36, 346, 2 scores. So had a great game. Quentin Johnston, a Tony favorite, 13 for 186 as the Vikings get a mute punt return there.
Tripped up on
look
nothing.
to go for a long field. But an impressive game
right,
from the Chargers, and Herbert, I think, really took a step forward. So regardless, again, of what happens in the postseason, I think the future is bright there. Going to be interesting to see what the Raiders do. Obviously, they were in play for number 1 pick. They don't end up getting it, but obviously they need a quarterback. Do they go with a veteran? Do they trade up for Shador? That's been rumored. But it does feel like it's a mess there in Las Vegas. And really, like, the biggest benefit of a coach going there is literally being in Vegas. That's what it feels like, and a top 5 draft pick.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. That it just seems like it's a franchise that's just riddled with nonsense, dude. You know, like the coach, scandals, can't find a quarterback. In my lifetime, the Raiders haven't been competitive.
No, they've always been a mess. Occasionally, when they get it right, then they immediately get it wrong. The next year.
We're running on 3 decades of a mess.
Ineptitude.
Dude.
Similar to the Jets, it feels like.
Oh.
And I mentioned this before, but the Seahawks finished their season on a high note, 10th win of the year, tiebreaker. Instead of being the 4th seed in the NFC, they end up being out of the playoffs. But I think still a strong season in Mike McDonald's first year as head coach. Again, I think the thing with them is they have good defense, they have good skill players. What quarterback is going to come in there?
Yes,
that, Michael?
Yes, Michael.
Jeff's in for Wednesday, Gaming Corner.
Wait, really?
Wow.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
You know what?
Let's go,
I'm
Jeff.
so riled
Gaming Corner on
that
Wednesday.
you said that, Michael, because I'm not
Gaming
kidding.
Corner Wednesday?
Just completely forgot about it. Let's go. That's what
Wait, hold up.
Bonanza.
Oh, do you care if I come to Wednesday?
Sure.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, dude. Bring it in. Get the food.
2K25.
25. Well, it's
What time? Wait.
No, I'll play 2K.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Wait. Wednesday, what time?
We usually start at 7, right?
Yeah, 6:37.
6:30 or
Yeah,
7.
7 o'clock.
Okay, I
probably
should
the
be
call.
back. Okay, I
Maybe
should be back.
6:30 if we're ready.
Yeah,
Just to
maybe
give us more time
6:30.
to run
Sometimes
the
exactly.
run.
These ones are a little bit longer. These sports episodes. As Renee looks tired.
So pumped for that. Renee knows we're in the final stretch here till we get to the top of the hour. But do you agree with what I'm saying, though, with Seattle? I think the future's bright there. I think they have a good coach. I think Gino's gone. It's just like who you bringing in. Is Rodgers maybe an option?
Yeah, it's interesting. Because again, another team that has so much talent, Smith and Jigba, even
Kenneth Walker,
Charbonnet, honestly, the running back, which surprisingly good. I picked him up for a couple of weeks in fantasy, Michael. But Geno Smith, who once was a quarterback breaking Russell Wilson's records in Seattle, like you said, looks like he's not going to be back here. Which is tough. I mean, even against the Rams here, Seattle, Geno had a good game, I guess. But it's just like another team that's just like with the amount of talent. DK Metcalf, are you kidding me, dude?
Aaron Jones with a strong
Tyler
run
Lockett,
here, 1st and 10.
It's like they need a better quarterback. Let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get that, and it'll be interesting. And maybe they even look at Jimmy Garoppolo, who started this game for the Rams. He loses, but 27-41, 334, 2 touchdowns. His only start of the season. So that's a nice bridge quarterback, backup quarterback to have. So I'm sure he's going to be a valuable asset on somebody's roster next season. What's that, Michael?
I found out that Bill Self has been the coach of Kansas for 22 years now.
Yeah.
Wow, long time.
Yeah. No, he's been a while. I think he came over from Illinois, if I'm not mistaken.
Hang on.
As Minnesota has taken up, picked up a first down here as they look to drive on their opening possession of the game. So let's see what Darnold does here. Under center, 2 backs behind him, CJ Ham and Aaron Jones. Play action, screen to Justin Jefferson. And it looks like he's going to pick up 5 yards, maybe with forward progress, they'll give him 6. We'll have to see. As they do the introductions here, one last game that we didn't mention today, we saw the Cardinals put a beat down on the Niners, 47-24. So a big performance for them, going 8-9. Be interesting to see what they do. Do they keep Murray, who had 4 touchdown passes in this game, also ran for 22 on the ground? And we know about Marvin Harrison Jr., who they've been waiting to unleash, as well as Trey McBride, one of the record-setting tight ends in the league. Go ahead, Tony.
If I could interrupt here.
Go ahead.
We have quite the matchup of pool behind us. If you can see here, we're at the Horseshoe. Obviously, we have Jeff and Michael facing off one-on-one. We spoke about a little bit of the pool here. Jeff has been on a hot streak all day, he said, okay? Earlier this evening, ladies and gentlemen, he won this game on the break, hit the 8 ball in off the break. We're here now with Jeff, okay? First of all, I'll talk about the 8 ball on the break earlier on, not on camera. Nobody knows it. Can't confirm. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. But what was your feeling at that time right then?
Just try to put the cue on the ball, see what happens there. The 8 ball went down, and there was a lot of excitement around this place. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was great. It was great for the bar.
Absolutely, yeah. Great for you. And speaking of you'll be playing against Michael, a grizzled veteran on the pool table here at the Horseshoe. Are you intimidated? Are you nervous? What are your feelings right now?
No, listen. I just come out here and try and do my best. Mike's a competitor, plays hard, plays to win, and we do what we can to represent the bar.
Okay, and then finally, are you anticipating the victory?
Yes, I am. Odds at my victory are minus 500.
Wow, minus 500. Michael, goodbye, Jeff. Now go shoot your shot.
Michael,
I could bring in Michael here now. Michael, a lot of fighting words by Jeffrey. I know, obviously, speaking of, grizzled veterans are on the Horseshoe. Jeff is on the wall. What are your thoughts coming into this matchup tonight?
He's hot. He played earlier, both physically, and he's also hot on the pool table.
Tonyism there.
He had his best pool day of his life, he said.
Yeah.
So I knew that coming in. I played one warm-up game against myself while you guys were doing the show. So we'll see. The pool table's been closed for the break. Mm-hmm. A bunch of shenanigans happened last year, so they shut it down this holiday season. But, he's a competitor. I'm a competitor. We're going to see who comes out on top.
All right. And finally, Jeff said minus 500, I believe, on his odds. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that? Where do you put yourself?
That's pretty crazy. I don't know. I would say we're even. Right down the middle. So
A little more
if you go
modest
anyway,
prediction there out of
I'm a
Michael.
betting man on this.
Yeah,
You don't know who's gonna win.
All right, stay tuned. We will check back in on the pool matchup. Let's go.
Let's go. That's going to be a treat, just like this game. 2nd and 9 for Darnold dropping back, and that is going to be incomplete. 3rd and 9. What were you going to say, Michael?
I think UConn's going to be in the top 10 by the end of by the beginning of this week when they move teams up the polls.
Yeah, no, I think they will. Big 3rd down here coming up for Darnold.
Wow.
As the Vikings look to wrestle control here. A big hit on Darnold there, too. That must have hurt.
Great big hit. Definitely hurt. He's going to be feeling that one right now, I'm sure. Interesting. I mean, Detroit, all the injuries they have, all the defensive substitutions they have to make, still finding a way to get to Darnold earlier on here. 39 here. The snap out of the gun here. Darnold back 3 steps. Rifles one.
Incomplete. A Tony favorite, TJ Hawkinson, unable to reel that pass in.
It was a little bit out of his reach, but kind of hit his fingers. You would have probably thought maybe he should have had that one. And boy, would that have given them the first down here and some excellent field position. Instead,
Lions have to
we're
punt.
punting. Yeah, we're punting right now, dude. So it should be pretty interesting here. By the way, Lions, I mean, their jerseys are so freaking sick, dude. The black looks awesome. The blue helmets. I mean, tremendous color, tremendous outfit. I would feel great in that uniform, no doubt.
I bet you would, Tony.
yeah, definitely would. Punt looks pretty good here. Downfield, almost at the 10. No fair catch called. We're gonna play it here. I mean, a little bit of a shimmy, a little bit of a move, then tackle it down at the 22. So nice 10-yard return there. For Raymond, as we see Jared Goff and the boys retaking the field on this sweet primetime Week 18 matchup. We're tossing the break, dude. By the way, a little update here on the pool table. Looks like I see Jeff is stripes. He's high ball. Michael's low ball here. Jeff cooking a little bit here. I'm seeing 3 balls on the table for Jeff and more than that for Michael and Salas. Michael here with an easy layup here in the 3 in the corner pocket.
Oh, he shoots.
Oh,
and
my
he
goodness.
almost missed it.
Yeah, he almost pooped himself right there.
Michael.
There we go.
Man,
oh, my
goodness. In his
goodness.
pants.
Michael getting together a string of some
he's
good
on
shots
fire.
here. 4 ball, middle pocket.
Middle pocket.
Bang!
That was
Bang!
That was a great
you
one,
model
dude.
yourself after Don. That was
Yeah.
totally Jim Nance at the Masters.
I don't want to be too loud. I want to keep it nice and low for them.
Oh my God.
Oh, the soft touch on the 6 misses. That's okay though. I don't know how much Jeff has set up here. Yeah, he doesn't know how much he has set up here.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, that's so funny. Jeff gets down in that position, you know. He really knows. Straddling the table.
What a shootout
Banking
here
in
we
the
have at the
11,
Horseshoe.
dude. It really is. He sunk a solid ball here, so that puts them at 2 balls apiece, plus the 8 ball still on the table.
Barnes.
Jeff cursing.
What's that?
I believe I texted you this. I got to meet the entire UConn women's team on
Yes,
Friday,
saw that.
which was awesome.
Paige Buckers.
Yeah,
Tony.
how was that, dude?
That was pretty good.
Did you get her number or no?
No.
Come
Yeah,
on, Tony.
Was she nice?
yeah.
Yeah, down to earth. You know?
mean, Paige was nice, and so was Gino, but meeting Dan Hurley is a different story.
Somebody was telling me, I forget who it was, but they used to go visit UConn a lot, partying. No, I forget who it was. Someone at school.
Okay.
At Sacred Heart. Like no one you would know, but they said that a few times, like they saw Paige out at the bar and she was, stumbling over herself.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
But hey, man,
Michael,
it was
how did you
human.
meet them? How did you get to meet them?
Yeah,
Meet and greet.
Good question. So it was at a bowling alley.
that's right. It wasn't a bowling alley. I
What
forgot.
bowling alley?
Bolero.
Oh, okay. And
bowling
which
alley.
one though?
Milford.
In Milford. Wow.
Oh, I've been to that one, dude.
Well, we've had
Yeah.
some
Sports
shows there.
court there.
2
We
of
did
them, I think.
And
Right?
Was it 2? I think just 1.
One in Milford, one in Newark, or 2 in Newark, 1 in Milford.
Did we do 2
Gino's
shows
so
at Bowling Alley?
small.
I think we did.
I think
yeah.
you're right, dude.
Yeah.
No.
Did Paige bowl?
Yes,
Really?
I saw her take a couple bowling shots.
Oh, nice, dude. That's good. Is she good? I mean,
Yeah, she's good.
I probably beat her.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
I don't know if I'd be happy with that.
As the Lions are take over here, Jared Goff under center, starting from their own 22-yard line. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get something going after having to punt on their first drive. Carry here, and it looks like this is Gibbs, who takes a big hit, but picks up, it looks like about 4 or 5 on that
Tony.
one. So we'll have second and medium.
Gino is so small. I mean, when you meet him in person, he's tiny.
Really?
How about this? Tony will be riled for this. Josh B says bowling, sports sport, question mark, exclamation point, all that.
Yes.
And then the flame emoji.
Actually,
I think
we did a bowling. Well, I'm not sure if it was sports sport. We remember we live streamed.
No, it was sports sport.
Yeah,
no, we
like
did it
2
in
years
Milford
ago.
and in Norwalk.
Yeah, and we ended up going like that. The weird lanes though we didn't like.
Yeah.
That was in Norwalk. That was like that.
I
Or
think
both
so.
places,
Yeah,
really.
probably. Yeah.
But under the lights, Tony, under the lights bowling.
Under the lights,
The oil
dude.
in these lanes,
The oil,
dude.
dude. They gotta figure the pattern out, dude.
As Goff picks up a first down.
Whoa! As Jeff tries to jump the ball, I've never seen him successfully jump. I don't think yet.
It's a tough move.
It's a very tough move. I've seen really only Michael honestly do it. But I mean, Michael looking to sink the 5-ball corner pocket, 8-ball directly in the middle of the table. By the way, very interesting matchup here. Michael with the beautiful effing touch on the 5-ball there. We're down to the 8-ball here.
Tony.
Jeff is sweating.
Tony Barnes. Have you heard of Sarah Strong?
No.
The newest Yukon.
It's over, by the way. Michael won.
Stop on first down, by the way, Gibbs. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
1-0.
Kind of defensive so far here in this game, Tony, but 2 punts. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not 2 punts the rest of the first half. I think that's about to change. Just kind of a outlier. What do you think?
Yeah, I would think so. I think it's just, we see it so many times, 2 colossal powerhouse titans of teams that just kind of first quarter feel each other out, figure things out, what they can get away with, what they can't get away with. And then we'll see the scoring happen, later on.
2nd down here, play action, Goff throwing. That's going to be complete to Amara St. Brown for the first down.
Let's go.
As the Lions are driving. Campbell
Lions
riled,
are moving.
Goff riled.
Tony.
Michael riled?
Barnes.
On Ron Ross St. Brown to Michael Theophil. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Michael. I'm here with Michael, our game Victor,
Oh my God, the
dude.
sideline reporter.
Jeff, feel free to join when you're done racking loser. But what do you think about the victory, dude? That's a close game.
Close game. Jeff came out swinging. The break was tough.
We both
had some weird clusters of our balls. Oh man, he's searching.
Tony, oh my God.
You should have seen his
That's
face.
bad. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Renee knows it. Michael Butka knows it.
Terrible.
But it came down to the wire. He had 1 ball left. I had the 1 ball left, and just swayed
Nice,
my
Tony.
way. Game 2.
Literally could not get through that with a straight
here.
face. I don't know
What are your thoughts coming into game 2? Adjustments? You're trying to get into Michael's head maybe a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Mike's has a huge level of focus. His strengths are he's really good at his touch around the hole.
Laporta picking it up, 3rd and short. Coming up.
8 yards.
His ability to touch balls is really good,
Tony loved that one.
and he just has a really solid stroke. So I'm trying to match that, trying to match his intensity. We'll see what happens in game 2.
Let's go. Good luck, buddy. Stay tuned.
Best of luck to you, gentlemen.
Best of luck to Jeff and Michael.
3rd and 2 coming up here for Goff and the Lions inside of Minnesota territory. Big play in the game here. I'm sure Dan Campbell already has his sights on going, even though they do have a nice kicker in Bates. This would be a long field goal. And there is, I don't know if this is a delay of game. Looks like there was a timeout before the delay of game. That's what I'm guessing here.
Okay.
Timeout, Detroit. This will be a 30-second timeout, Tony.
It's a first time out from Detroit. I don't know. If you're Dan Campbell right now, what are you thinking, dude?
I think he's running it. Definitely.
Yeah.
Right? He's going to run it again. Even if he loses 3, he'll run it again.
I think you're right.
Barnes.
One second. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, we've seen, a couple times here, Dan Campbell, the stubbornness as a coach in the NFL. Do you think ultimately that ends up being their downfall again?
No, because I think they have the line to run the ball. And watch, they'll pick up this first down. I would almost guarantee it.
Really, dude?
We'll have to see. Obviously, a little different without Montgomery. That is, but he's usually the power runner. But Gibbs can do it. What were you going to say, Michael?
Have you heard of Terrace Reed?
Yes, he's very good. Leader of the second unit.
A big rebounder and a shot of Plucker Barnes.
Yeah, and it looks like we have a carry here out to the outside.
And
that
we're
is going to be
getting the first down.
down. Reynolds. But there's a flag, so that's going to come back.
Holding
and most likely be 3rd and 12. Holding offense. The holding penalties, would you say the most annoying penalty in the NFL?
Yeah, I guess so. And it's also it's kind of weird too, because I mean, you hear about
offsides in the NHL. Michael knows that. Spot on.
I would say the one difference, between that and this is that it seems like that the holding is almost up to interpretation, or just if the ref picks it up sort of deal.
Sometimes there's questionable offsides with hockey, though.
Oh, yeah, no, sometimes there is, but I just feel like that's a little more decisive. And I mean, you hear about offensive linemen or really players in general talking about it. I mean, holding does happen every single play.
Collinsworth has said it every single time.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just a matter of how much you get away with. So it's just like one of those calls where it's almost always can be called, I suppose. So it's just like, I mean, what are you going to do, honestly? Because, I mean, listen, you're an offensive lineman. You have some big defensive tackle coming at you. It's hard to defend against some Goff drops back, rifles
30,
one.
12! But that is going to be short.
I think they're going for it.
To Tim Patrick.
Damn.
I think this is 4th and 4, 4th and 5. Campbell does have that look on his face.
He's going to go for it. He's pacing. He's
Has he had some beer, or has he been out in the sun?
I don't know, man. It's a good question.
I think he's going for it here.
No, sun in this dome must be alcohol,
Johnson,
dude.
looking to put the play in here. 69% of the time, they have converted on 4th downs, 5th in the NFL.
Which is great. Good for them.
Lions best in stopping it at 35%.
First in the NFL. Goff in the gun here. Gibbs to his left.
Dropping
Gibbs
back.
blocking.
Pressure.
Wow.
Jameson Williams with
There's Williams laying down, dropping the shoulder. Wow.
A big play. And we know it with Campbell. He loves
that face.
And to come back, after having that holding penalty, it seemed like it was a drive killer. They end up picking up the first down here.
Yeah, that was great, dude. I mean, and that corner or whoever came off the side, obviously Goff recognizes that where the blitz is coming from, knows someone's going to be open over there, hits Williams. I mean, great play.
Williams, Barnes.
And you know what, dude? Yeah. Good for Goff for just taking that hit, okay? He didn't wince. He didn't try to pull back a little bit to defend himself. He made the throw, made sure it was success.
It looks like he's going to go.
Oh, my God.
Touchdown. Lions. Didn't Ernie need a Gibbs touchdown?
Yes, he did. He
got it.
Touchdown, dude. He got it, dude. As the Lions go up here 6-0, extra point pending.
I'll be back.
All right, Michael. Michael will be back.
Gibbs and Williams touchdown. So he needs just now a Jameson Williams touchdown.
What a great run here by Gibbs, dude. I mean, nobody stood a chance. I mean, everyone on the front line there was being blocked. The secondary there, the second phase there by Gibbs, little move, gone.
Bates on for the extra point, up and good.
Yes.
Kind of drew it around that left upright.
Yeah, dude. Got a little bit of a nervousness squeeze there, but nonetheless, dude, he hits it. Bates is good, dude. And the Detroit Lions go up 7-0. Brian, as we get a little live look in here at the billiards game here, Michael's shooting. He is stripes, by the way. Michael's high ball. Tried to do a combo mambo for not. Looks like Michael has 4 balls on the table. Jeff 3 balls. So continuing the theme from game 1, a tight matchup, tightly contested between these two athletes.
Speaking of themes, Ernie says Gibbs in all caps, and then your mother says the Golden Globes is on, Aunt. Ariana Grande lost for Tony's favorite movie of all time, Wicked.
That's tough, dude. My mother, though, I'm sure enjoying the Golden Globes, as we typically did. Growing up, her and I would watch that. The awards.
Your father like it or no?
I think it's more of like he tolerates it.
Okay,
he'll sit there and watch whatever. But he's not really into it necessarily. I guess tough for Ariana Grande. I'm honestly not that familiar with who's nominated and stuff like that for what. But obviously, Ariana did do a great job with Wicked. I will say, the acting was good. But at the end of the day, I'm sure there's plenty of other performances out there that were deserving of the Golden Globe. Not sure who won, but nonetheless, you can find out the full recap of the Golden Globes on Tuesday, by the way, Binge Buddy. So stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, no, that will be an outstanding one. And Ernie also says, just need Williams now. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Ernie, a touchdown away from 1K, Tony. What would you do right now if that was you? Cash out early?
No way, dude. Although I'd be curious to see what the cash out early money. What do you think? It's like 500? Do you think like half, maybe?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was 750, honestly, because it's just one touchdown, a high scoring game, lots of room to run here. That would be my guess. But
so now that cash out thing, do I have until like the last minute of this game?
It constantly
updates, so it'll be less and less and less as the game goes on.
Or potentially like if they're, I guess it's kind of because it's a player getting a touchdown. I don't know if they're close to the red zone, maybe it goes down, but then they're pushed back and or they're not looking to pass, then it goes up. That type of thing.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. The 750 right now would be kind of enticing, but I mean, listen, if you made the bet, you should stick with it no matter what. You should never second guess yourself, dude.
It's kind of like wanting your cake, but yet eating it as well.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Listen, you believed in yourself. You got this far, Ernie. Do not give up. Keep it going. What?
Good shot, Michael. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Great shot, dude. Michael here lining up the 11.
Chauncey Billups on the sideline here for the Detroit Lions, the former Detroit Piston, Tony. If Ernie cashes out all the tickets, 350 off,
Tony
25.
doesn't know about that.
Only 350.
That seems very low. I wouldn't do that ever.
Yeah. So obviously, you imagine he isn't. As
Chauncey
Bates kicks it.
Oh my God, Jeff!
Sidewinder.
I do. By the way, Jeff blew it here. Had an open shot at the 7 in the corner, bumper to bumper, killed it. Dude. A little bit too hard, I think. Combo move, scratches, does not get the 11, although not much of a shot necessarily left for Keith.
Not much of a game.
Jeff. But honestly, now that I'm looking at it more so, he has a perfect shot at the 6, it looks like.
What's up? Huh? Jumping the gun.
Oh,
wow.
Off the 11.
A crafty shot there out of Jeff.
Oh, a crafty laughter.
Did he call off he didn't call off the 11, so it should be Mike's turn here. And Mike will take his turn, dude, looking to get the 11 in.
Darnold dropping back pressure.
Get rid of it!
And he is sacked
Get out of here, Darnold.
3-yard line. So a much maligned Lions defense making plays early, Tony.
Not good here for Darnold. That is it looks like he was on the Jets again, honestly, with that play.
Yes, Tony.
Dude.
Yes,
Tony's thinking the Vikings were going to win coming in.
By the way, dude, Michael chunked that ball on the 11, so or whoever. It's a scratch. Oh, the bumper, the bank shot from Jeff. No good.
Collinsworth waxing poetic about that sack.
Yeah.
Collinsworth, fuck that guy.
2nd and 27 here. Darnold in the gun. Michael missing
in
like
his
Darnold
own
right
end
now.
Zone. Is that a delay game? They do not call it. Jones in the end zone catches it. Takes it to the outside.
Man, that should have been a safety.
6 or 7?
6 or
Come on,
7
it should've been a
yards.
safety.
So it'll
That was
be
crazy.
3rd and 20. It's 3rd down. I'm sure they're playing that at the stadium. Okay,
Yeah,
Tony,
definitely.
sorry. You're tight that I said that.
Damn, Kevin.
3rd and 18 here. If I am Minnesota, I'm going to Justin Jefferson.
Aaron Glenn looking on for his defense. His 4th year as the Lions defensive coordinator. A hot head coaching commodity. He's a guy potentially would be in play for the Jets. He once played for the Jets, Tony.
Who did?
Wow.
Who?
Aaron Glenn.
Oh.
So let's go now. Darnold in the gun.
3rd and
here.
18.
Jones to his right.
Very long.
Barking, trying to get the snap off, just gets it off. Pressure coming.
No.
And
yes!
overthrowing TJ Hawkins.
Over fucking thrown.
Second
Get the fuck out of here,
consecutive
Sam Darnold.
punt coming up for the Minnesota offense.
I mean, second consecutive punt, second consecutive, 3rd down, not converted to Hawkinson. And second time again, like Darnold has it. Oh, but just sails it over
the
him.
Timing, Tony, just not there.
I mean, I hate to go with Hawkinson here, but I feel like both of those balls he probably could have had.
caught.
I mean, it's tough, dude. It's not perfect throws, not perfect plays by any means. What a punt though here
Khalif
from Minnesota.
Raymond returning the punt.
Um,
and that
too
too
big
big
of a
back to the
return.
30. So a good net there,
That was
Tony.
like an 80-yard punt.
Yeah. That was something.
From the end zone to the 30-yard line, the opposite 30-yard line here. We're getting a nice little replay package of some
Tony,
of some reactions here, which is nice.
I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm going to Yukon Crane in a couple of weeks.
No way, dude.
And best part is Barnes. Let's pay attention.
Wow.
Oh, there we
Wow.
go,
Okay.
dude.
Little call out there by producer Bucka, huh?
Yeah,
Okay. So I'm gonna be sitting in the student section at that
yeah.
game.
Really, dude? How do you
Wow.
spell
How'd
that?
you pull that off?
Well,
Page?
no, as soon as UConn got me a student ticket for free,
That's
so
awesome, dude.
I'm gonna pop the student section, and Dan Hurley better know that I'm coming.
Wow.
I'm sure he will ever
'cause,
forget it, dude.
No,
That's
honestly, the UConn basketball experience, I was saying on the show the other day,
He
Tony
took
needs to
forget
experience
that.
it.
I
Camera
agree.
work in a 60-point win
I
does
agree.
not suffice. I can't wait to go to another game, honestly.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's
Barnes.
Battle of the 8 Ball over here behind us, by the way. And Jeff,
Jeff
takes
takes
it
it
down.
good
Wow.
as the series
Wow.
goes to one game apiece, Tony.
one game
Barnes.
apiece is right,
Barnes.
dude.
So here's a question. So who do you think UConn should start? Slamson or Terrace Reed?
Reed.
I agree.
Yeah, he plays big down low. Definitely.
Plays big
I'll
down
talk to Hurley
Wow,
about
the
it. Barnes.
eyes lighting up for Tony as he goes for yet another
Interview.
or camera work.
Another post-game
Is it the
interview. Look
camera
at
work,
that.
Tony?
He's interviewed.
All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Here,
Barnes.
we're dialed in. Come on,
I'll talk
buddy.
to Hurley about us starting
All
Reed
right,
Jonathan.
man. Game
Yeah,
2.
it's a good idea.
you
I'll talk to
won. It was pretty crazy. Obviously, you had quite a number on the 8 ball, a lot of misses from both of you. What were your feelings going through the game? You overcame some adversity there. You needed the win there. Tied up at 1. What do you got?
Look, he put me in a corner. This is a top tier competitor, and I'm just glad I could force it to a game 3.
Is this final game? I don't even know.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll
This
see,
is,
we'll
best
see.
of 3, but you never know how this goes over here.
So what did you do differently in game 2?
I think I was just able to see my shot a little bit better, work on my stroke, and really put the ball in the hole.
Oh yeah, dude. Appreciate the time. Good luck in game 3.
Thanks, so.
Yeah. All right, let's go now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Buckta getting involved.
Michael, Michael.
We're going the distance here, ladies and gentlemen. We're deep at the pool table here in the Horseshoe. Nobody has broadcasted as deep into the Horseshoe as we are right now.
Yeah.
Michael, game 3, rubber match. If we're going game 5, who knows? Right now, it's for the rubber. You're racking them. Game 2, Jeff took one here. What were your thoughts throughout that second game there?
Yeah, I had a tough hole here that kept him in it. He made some shots, and it's fun to keep playing.
Hell yeah, dude. We're all here to have a great time here. Game 3, obviously, Jeff, I can tell right now, feeling himself.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need to do to take this game 3 victory?
Make some shots that I didn't make last game.
You heard it here first. Good luck. Game 3, let's go, baby. We'll check back in later on. Real quick, though, Dean, who do you got winning this game?
I'm all over
That's what
Mike.
we're trying to compare. Let's be careful.
Right here, Dean is all over Mike, in quotes, right there.
Dean's a turncoat, and his opinion means nothing.
He's been laying low, and he's gonna make Jeff cry. I mean,
Jeff will be crying here. Stay tuned. Thank you, Dean. All right. Is Barnes in the bathroom?
I think he might be at this point, Tony.
That's okay, dude.
It's okay.
All right, let's get back into it here. We're back here in Detroit, Ford Field. Detroit leading this game 7-0. Looks like Minnesota came
Oh,
with
it's down. Is it third down?
second down stop. It will be third down as Van Ginkel is going to come up here with the blitz, I believe, off the edge, and kind of comes in almost untouched and lays an excellent hit there on Gibbs, actually. And Gibbs shaking up a little bit. Thank God, Ernie, that he got that touchdown earlier in this game here. We have
Goff in the gun, the snap here, drops back, and
He
will
is
be
sacked.
sacked.
So the Vikings will get the ball back.
Obviously, another tough sack we're seeing in this game. Defensive prowess on both sides, I guess, starting to, flex their wings here. Vikings here with back-to-back big stops on this drive. And, I mean, that's exactly what you need. If you're the Vikings right now, you're down 7-0 early. Defense comes in, big stop. Goff is tight. Donald comes on. Don't sweat that last series. And you figure it out on this one. If we get another punt here, not a great punt, but Minnesota
return so that Minnesota will get the ball at the 50. Powell with the return, Tony. By the way, did you see that Ernie said besides that he needs to trade the 15 drives before the end of the half? LMAO, let's go fucking Williams one time, baby. Says, didn't know Tony was that short with the crying emojis. And then Ernie says, Tony sitting looks 6'2", standing. He's a solid 5'7".
That's pretty
Your
funny.
height is
5'10".
5'10".
So in the middle there.
And then Josh B says a wide gaping hole with the crying emojis. I'm sure you texted him and told him to say that.
Yes, don't be fooled though. The guy I was interviewing just happens to be 7 feet tall. It's on camera. Well, no, was it on camera? No, never mind. Yes, it is up in the corner.
That's the basketball equivalent of airballing and layup.
Yeah, no, I went for the backspin in the corner shot, and I shot it out of the pool table.
That's all right. I mean, that's why we practice. We're here for practice.
It's happened before. It'll happen again to anybody.
Happens to anybody. That's why. But listen, in this instance, again, we're practicing here. When the big guns start trying to play for money later on, we'll know what we're doing.
Yeah. So, still an interesting start to this game, less scoring than we thought, but obviously Minnesota working with the short field. I'm guessing you are expecting nothing less than 7 points coming up for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, I would anticipate within the next maybe minute and 12 seconds, we'll be hearing Brian say extra
Saul
point
can call in.
pending. Obviously, Saul can call in. Absolutely, dude. He's been trying? Do you want him to call me?
No, we just we weren't connected.
Oh, okay, cool.
Are we connected?
We are connected.
Great.
Education
Great.
connection.
Education connection.
Yes, Michael Buckton knows what he's talking about here. But yeah, I mean, if the Vikings don't convert here on this drive and then end up scoring, I mean, that's
Not good.
It's not good, dude. And you would think that's kind of what's indicative of what the Vikings are doing the rest of the game, which obviously it's early, 7-0, whatever. But I still want them to score here. That would make me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you would feel like it's back to square one.
Yes.
Anybody's game.
Yes.
So we'll have to see as we come back here from commercial break and showing the two quarterbacks from their high school days on the college, both Pac-12 schools at the time with Cal and USC respectively. And then, of course, both being drafted high in the draft. Goff number 1, Darnold number 3 to the Rams and Jets respectively, changing of the teams and now finding their homes, Tony, in Detroit and Minnesota respectively. What a story. One that you feel would be worthy of a 30 for 30 one day, especially whenever hoists the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah, definitely, dude. I mean, it is pretty tremendous. Yeah, if you do include Goff, someone who's, I guess, almost counted out, I suppose, especially on a team like Detroit. I mean, you never know. I mean, they were that team that had the curse, the playoffs, the drought, the run here.
Cam Akers, no gain on the play.
Yeah, it was the game of nothing, dude. Sam Darnold here in his 7th season, 14 wins this year. His previous career high was 7, Brian. Completion percentage, 68% this year. Previous best, 62, over 4,000 yards. I think the previous season was 2,000 said was his best?
Yes.
Before this year, which is kind of crazy. And he's out of the gun here. Time, space, caught.
Finding
Not Hawkins.
Oliver, the second string tight end.
Oh,
a flag. Is that a helmet to helmet, Tony?
It almost looked like
holding.
Josh Oliver, excuse me. I don't know. That was kind of like definitely. I don't know if it was head to head, but it was definitely shoulder to head, maybe. I don't know.
I would
see
think
what to call it. Personal foul, defense. The ref is facing the wrong way, by the way.
But it was declined, so I guess it's not for the hit. No, that's definitely not for the hit because it would have been 15 tacked on.
But they just showed the hit again.
They showed the hit, but
it's
maybe
kind of weird.
Questioning why was it called.
Interesting.
So 1st and 10 coming up here from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Kevin O'Connell looking on. Darnold in the gun. Takes the snap in the second. Takes the snap. Throws it quick
throw.
to Jordan Addison, and he is met at the line of scrimmage, maybe losing a half of a yard. So it'll be 2nd and long.
I mean, not for nothing, dude. Justin Jefferson had one fucking job that play, and it was to lay down a block on the edge. And you know what he did not do is lay down the block on the edge. So what's his name? Jordan Addison couldn't go anywhere.
He only has 1 catch so far, Justin Jefferson.
Yes, I think
you would think they
right.
would want to get him involved here.
Only 1 target. How about that?
Darnold looking the other way, and it's Jordan Addison incomplete. No flags on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 10. Coming up on 3rd down.
Yeah, dude, interesting play here, Brian. I mean, obviously, you're getting the pressure for some of the Detroit defense here, but Darnold has some time, and he kind of airs this one out. It steps up nicely, but just did not lead Addison at all. And again, to your point before, dude, where is Justin Jefferson?
I feel like he could have got him on that crossing route,
He
too. I don't know
could've.
if you saw it. It was a little tight, but I think he had him.
I don't know if they're just assuming Jefferson's gonna be double teamed or whatever, or keyed on, but they're not throwing him at all. 1 target throughout, almost a quarter of the game.
No delay of game there, which is interesting. Darnold facing pressure.
Yeah!
Hits that man.
Finally.
Justin Jefferson for a 1st down.
Yeah, baby.
1 second.
1 second.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Brian. Oh.
Yeah,
Brian's
I was going to say.
By the way, look at this play clock here at 1-0, and then the ball has been snapped. Obviously very tight there, but of course it's interesting because refs always talk about this where it's like they kind of have to look at 2 different things at the same time. So it's always like a 0, and then they look, and then if it's not snapped, they call it. So there is almost like a -1 to get to before they do throw the flag here. Darnold under center here. They hand off. Outside run, a little bit of a shimmy, and a little bit of a 2-yard gain there for what was Cam Akers, excuse me. Number 27, Cam Akers. It'll be 2nd and goal here for Minnesota. What are they on the 8-yard line? The 11-yard line? Dan Campbell, the big shoulders, looking on.
You fix it for me.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm always asking for Tony to save the day.
It's all right, dude. All right, let's go now here. 2nd and goal. Detroit, obviously looking for a little bit of a stop here. They're looking to only give up 3 as the Vikings are banging on the door on the 3rd-yard line. Looks like we have some discussion of the refs here. Is Minnesota calling a timeout? I don't even know what's going on right now, but they're back in the huddle, it looks like. I gotta say right now, Darnold looks almost as jacked up as Dan Campbell after a few espressos, dude.
A few espressos, Mr. Tony?
A few espressos, Mr. Buckta.
2nd and goal coming up here.
Darnold gun drops back, has some time, rolling out to his left, tosses out of bounds.
Be 3rd and goal.
It would be 3rd and goal. Darnold, I guess, made the smart move there. Just got rid of it. Didn't like what he was seeing. No need to waste time here. And it's interesting. I mean, Jefferson here starts out in the backfield, runs a little bit of an out route to fucking nobody.
Both Buckta and Barnes on the phones.
It's unbelievable when Tony starts talking.
But I think it's multitasking.
Multitasking. But interesting, it's just one of those plays. I guess Minnesota drew up for Jefferson, and there was no check down, no nothing. They're going to need a little bit more of a creative play here, I think, to score. Darnold takes a snap, drops back again, looks out for Hawkinson. It's just not like. What the fuck are they doing, dude?
4th down.
Sorry for my cursing, but it's like.
No, they're going to go for it.
They should go for it and run a better play than that. Have Darnold roll out then. If you're going to throw it to like that weird out route of the tight end, you should have Darnold roll out with him. Maybe an attempt to, even score with his own legs here. 4th down here, 6 conversions, 10 attempts, which is pretty good odds, I guess. But I mean, obviously, again, you just need some creativity, I think, out of the play calling if the Vikings want to score. It's not going to be the simple throw to the left on the out. Darnold in the gun here. Running to his left.
Back.
He's open. He's open.
He doesn't throw to him, and he throws to Jefferson, and it's incomplete. What a terrible read. Justin Jefferson visibly frustrated as the Vikings turn it over on down.
I mean, I'm sorry, but
anybody could have seen that guy was open. It was Addison, right? On the right-hand side. It's like literally wide open.
Yeah.
And he throws to Jefferson, who I think was complaining about an interference missed call. Which
no, I think it was that he was open and he overthrew him. Definitely.
Oh, really?
I didn't see him touch.
No, I think that right there. He was like holding. He just said holding.
Oh, okay.
And
I
he
don't know
grabbed
why.
his jersey.
I didn't think he
just
was
flubbed
held
it.
though.
I didn't think there was.
I made Jeff's ball in. I thought I was stripes.
Wow.
And I scratched, and he had a perfect layup for the 8 ball.
Oh, damn. That's tough.
That is tough, dude. I'm sorry, Michael.
That's
all right.
unfortunate.
I mean, I guess I got to go interview the winner, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wait, so did Michael win the entire series?
Yes, but I think, or is that it? Are they playing again?
I
Or
don't
is
know
that
if it is it right now, but hold on 1 second.
extra point pending as Tony goes to the camera?
Barnes
Yes.
has your girlfriend been to this new land?
You know, I think back in the day, not anytime recently.
Tell me that she's not been in years.
No, it's definitely been a while.
To the one in California we're talking.
Oh, I guess this is interesting. I think Tyreek Hill interview after the game alluding to that he's out of Miami. Let's see what we got here.
Wow, bro. You know, so it was great playing here, but you know, at the end of the day, bro, I gotta do what's best for for my career and what's best. Because I'm too much of a competitor to be, just out there. If it is, hey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here. You're gonna come sit down.
Tony!
What?
Tyreek Hill in the interview said that it's been nice in Miami. He's done. He's going to be out of Miami, frustrated with the results on the field the last 3 years.
That's actually pretty wild. Tyreek Hill done with Miami, arrested, whatever. You know who's gonna get arrested tonight after partying so hard? Jeff, I think, who's our winner. All right, how you feeling, dude?
I'm feeling good. I don't like winning how I won. I'm not going to divulge too many details of the game. Mike blew it. Mike blew it pretty hard. But, it was a pleasure to play, and I hope we get to play again.
Yeah, it was great, dude. What do you think was your best moment, your favorite shot, if you will?
When Mike blew it.
I did. I absolutely blew it. I had it was a tough shot, actually.
Michael.
It was
a great shot.
Yeah.
It was just my ball.
It was all the way down, like, the ball's like literally like this, right next to each other, Tony.
So ridiculous.
I can't with him.
Yeah. No ability to keep a straight face with this
What kind
stuff.
of show is this?
And it goes all the way in, and then I realized right in that moment, I look up at Jeff, he's like, and I was like, dang. And he took it.
I was so confused. I was like, wait a second, I'm stripes.
So then I scratched also, and he had the 8 ball over there. Nice and easy, laid it in, won the game.
Well, listen, boys, wins, losses come in many forms here, all right? So happy you guys could join us here.
Put a camera on top of the table here and start.
Yeah, that would be great. But I mean, then like the lights would be in the way.
Incomplete pass, no safety.
Listen, we can have a class and a workshop.
Receiver in the area,
like you
supposedly.
guys, I'm sure could come up with some sort of solution to that. So I was like, 3 lights? Come on.
Spoken like a true politician you are.
A
Jeff.
politician.
All right. Thanks again for playing, guys. We'll
Politics.
check back in later. Maybe we'll play some more. Who knows? But that is it for the billiards here at the Horseshoe. Michael and Jeff. Jeff's the winner.
Wow. What a great job by all that were involved there, Tony. And yes, it definitely is going to be an incomplete pass here. No safety. Very close to being one. But I guess because of the receiver in the area, I guess they're saying because he was trying to throw to Gibbs, which is interesting. And I don't know, but 3rd and 5, pressure coming, Goff throwing, and I believe Laporta jumping over the first down marker. So the drive will continue as we approach about 9 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. 7-0 Detroit.
Oh boy.
And then what do you think here, Tony? Do we go like after this drive? Do we go to the end of the drive here?
I'm down with that. Let's do that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that works. So
What's going on now? I'm sorry. What's the plan?
we're just gonna
after this drive, and we're gonna close out, Michael, and then we're gonna break down and go home.
Yeah.
Hey, I like
That's
that.
freaking
Sounds
great,
good.
dude. Yeah, it's a great plan.
Gibbs getting the carry.
And Tony,
And it's
good.
gonna be second and long.
I'm Hurley's #1 fan
I have no doubt about that, Michael.
of all time.
Of all time. That's awesome, dude. Wait, so is that game against Creighton the next one you're gonna go see?
Yeah.
When is that?
That's on the 18th of January.
Oh, nice, dude. Coming up.
Yeah, that's
And
exciting.
I'm
There we
sitting
go.
in the student section.
Yeah, baby. That's gonna be huge, dude.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Goff, by the way, almost taking the safety, obviously, getting rid of that ball, I suppose. That was
And
kind
now
of crazy.
you're
back
having
then.
a chance here to put some more points on the board.
Yeah.
Obviously, a long way to go as they run it on second down.
Nice.
But it looks like was that Reynolds, Tony, almost picking up the first down. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 1 here coming up for Detroit.
Which is great. I mean, that's the bread and butter 3rd down for Detroit, running up the middle, no problem. New set of downs, take it from there, sort of deal. And I mean, again, for someone like Detroit to be able to use who's their secondary running back now? Reynolds, right?
You know, obviously, having Montgomery all season with Gibbs. So Reynolds filling the void and looking like he has some pop on some of these runs.
Yeah, dude. Again, classic Dan Campbell runner, lower the shoulder, figure it out, use your legs. Which is great. You'll have to see that as Goff is under center, 3rd and 1
Looks
here,
like they
motioning.
stick with Reynolds back there, and they run it right into a pile, but he works his way through. Very patient running there, Tony, waiting to hit the hole.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you saw
wow, Michael Bucket for the first time we've seen ever searching for it.
Reynolds here, you look right here, gets the ball and just almost stops and starts shuffling, finds a hole, and then hits it. And that's exactly what you do on 3rd and 1, and they get a little bit extra there, new set of downs.
All right, so Reynolds staying in here, 1st and 10 as we approach 7 minutes remaining.
On the Incredicoaster.
The
Incredicoaster, dude.
That is going to be me easily on that Incredicoaster.
Goff under.
Gets picked! Wow! What a play by Minnesota.
That was wild.
So they get a gift.
Let's
they will
go,
instantly
dude.
have 1st and goal with
that a
an
whole thing?
opportunity here to tie this game up.
That was one of those obscure interceptions you see. Goff under pressure. It looks like he was going to throw it away, to be honest. Tipped by whoever was rushing in his face. And then we see number 9, Brian, I think it was, right? Who just recovered
Let's
it?
see on the replay here. No, that was
number 0. Damn
there.
it. Number 0 is Ivan Pace Jr.
Ivan Pace Jr.
Looks like he is out of Cincinnati, dude.
Okay.
Interesting. Not much about him. 24 years old, 2nd season, dude. First pick of the year.
We'll bend the rules here to get this.
Yeah, we kind of have to, I guess, right?
Before we call it. So Darnold, empty formation in the shotgun. Play clock winding. Jones out wide to the left. Dropping back. Is he going for Jefferson?
Oh, my God. Almost picked off.
Could have been picked. It'll be incomplete. I'm sure Jefferson a little frustrated. Like we said, only 2 receptions up to this point.
I'm not going to lie, though, right now. I mean, looking at that play, it looks like
coverage.
the refs are letting them play, though.
Yep.
It was good coverage. But it does seem, I mean, there was a lot of contact, right? No?
Yeah, there definitely was.
I guess maybe not as much as I thought. It was actually a great defensive play. He's tight. He didn't come up with it. 21 on Detroit. That is going to be...
The play clock continues to wind
Amik
deep
Robertson.
into counts here as we 3, 2, 1. Doesn't get it off, but they do. Very lapsed.
Play action.
Letting the play clock going. Jefferson.
Oh, my God. Sam Darnold, what are you doing?
And that could have been a Justin Jefferson. Right?
Yeah, it is good. Jefferson climbs the ladder.
Yeah. He's tight, though.
He should be tight, dude. That's the second time he was open, and there was a bad fucking throw by Darnold. Getting a little excited here for Sam Darnold. I mean, this is the most excited I've been for football since like week 2.
I feel like you've been excited all season, no?
Yeah, probably. Well, no. Jets this year start off like...
No, but I'm saying that the league as a whole, I feel like every time I've been watching, talking about it, it seems like there is enthusiasm there, Tony, for you.
Oh, yeah. No, I would agree with that, dude. Justin Jefferson, great year. 1,500 yards for the air, over 100 receptions. and still just one here or
The
two.
play clock continuing to go to almost zero. Jefferson. Oh my God! Yet another incompletion. A tough night so far for Minnesota and Justin Jefferson. With all these
tough night for Sam
incompletions,
Darnold.
do they bring out the kicker here?
Yes, they do. Yes.
No, just fucking go for it. I don't care. Let Darnold soak in his dirty diaper he just shat in, and let him go out there
That
again
is
and
so
figure
bad.
it out.
I
dude.
mean, even Russell Wilson could have lobbed that one in there.
I think Zach Wilson could have lobbed that one in there.
Yeah, I think so.
Even I
think even Zach Mettenberger could have made that throw. As they do bring out the kicking unit here. So that one
my God,
just sneaks through the right upright. So 7-3 Detroit, 6:35 left in this first half. What a first half so far it's been. Kind of surprising, Tony, but I think we're in for an exciting finish. And I can't wait to talk about this tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Eastern.
Yes, Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I am also, just like you, surprised that the total right now is only set at 10 points as we're a 7-3 score. But like you said, dude, it's going to be a great second half. Hopefully Darnold can figure it out, calm the nerves, whatever he needs to do to start hitting Justin Jefferson while he's wide open here. And of course, Sports tomorrow 10 a.m. will be huge. This recap, we'll talk some Rangers as well, so I'm pumped for that, dude.
Let's go Rangers. Let's go.
So
Nice to get the win. Obviously, yesterday was a disaster.
We'll talk
but
about
you
it.
recovered today, but we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Mhm.
Obviously, tons of thank yous to go around, of course, to the Horseshoe, as always. The excitement between Michael and Jeff on the pool table. Michael Bukta making a guest
legendary
appearance. Renee and Michael holding it down on the other side of the glass. Dean behind the bar.
Killed it.
So what a night it has been, and what a big week coming up. So we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives in the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the rest of their evening, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.